Okay, I'm good. I'm at work, but
Okay.
I'm gonna listen in.
Okay. Sounds
And
good.
yeah,
Sounds good. Okay, Ange. Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good.
thank you.
Hope you're having a great day at work, though.
You know what? It is pretty good. Christmassy and all that. Yeah.
Nice,
How are
nice.
you? How are you?
We're doing amazing. Caught some amazing pips yesterday. Were you
I
listening
saw
in?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I saw it on the live. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We've been doing great so far, to be honest.
How's
Uh,
your account, bro? Are you getting a reset? Yeah.
yeah.
You're good for that. Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Also, I received my it says on my account, the client area, it says repeat. So
Oh,
we're all good.
nice, nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice. So when are you
I'm
starting
so
from?
happy.
Next week?
Next week, bro. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Let's go. You're gonna pass it
I'm
this
so
time as well.
excited. Yeah.
Hey,
I'm so
that's
glad,
great. That's great. That's great. You know, you gotta understand. Like, this is progress. Like the first time, you
It is
actually,
progress. Yeah.
it's compared to the first time. This is like 100%, 100%. This is a progress compared to the first time. You'll keep that in your mind.
Yeah.
So this is it. You're gonna kill it this time.
Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait. You too, man. You
Appreciate that. Appreciate
too.
that. 400k
You
coming up,
will.
Ange. 400 coming up, Ange.
Yeah. I
400k coming up.
already wrote up my, like scaling in plan. So I'm looking
Nice,
forward
nice,
to that.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta show me how to do that as well.
Yeah. How's G
Amazing.
doing? Because he was
Every
like 3% last
yeah,
week, no?
yeah, he's doing great as well, man. He caught a lot of pips yesterday. A lot of pips.
Very good.
Because
Oh.
yesterday, he took an impulsive entry when I was like, obviously doing my breakdown, and he caught like 30 pips in like literally a second. So he was gassed yesterday. He was so happy.
Yeah, it was moving a lot yesterday, both up and down. Did you manage to
Yeah.
get the downside at the end as
No,
well?
no, that
It
that
was
was at the
close.
end
It
of
was
our
closing.
session. That was
Yeah,
after
it
our
was at the
session,
end.
so that wasn't our
Yeah,
trade to
okay.
take. But today I'm
Yeah, good.
expecting we can probably see sales playing out, honestly. I
Yeah,
can really see sales playing out today, honestly. But
yeah, at
anyway,
least retest 1778 again, something like that.
yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna start doing my breakdown now. So let's see.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think? Will we have time? I'm on mute, yeah, but I'm
Okay.
listening.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so let's look at the monthly candle now. Honestly, I'm expecting sales to play out because look at the way the previous monthly candle has actually closed now. So this was the highest that we actually did form on the monthly candle, because honestly what I'm thinking is we might be coming down for liquidity, so we can see the sales playing out today. Let's look at the daily candle. Look at your daily candle. Look at the bond wick as well, like really tiny bit of a bond wick that we have on the daily time frame. And in my opinion, what's happened is that move we had yesterday to the downside, we grabbed a lot of liquidity to the top side first, and then we had that explosive bit of a move to the top side, right? And then after that, we came all the way down to basically crack this whole move down. And look at the structure laws as well. We actually have not violated the structure laws. That's really interesting to see that we haven't violated the structure laws. But I kind of do want to see. Okay, let's look at this. Look at this. Cool. This started 02 November. This whole move to the top side. 18th, 18, 19, 20. And this was obviously 22nd, and this was the consolidation where we broke to the top side. And then at this point, look what we done was we grabbed a lot of liquidity here as well, 26th, and then obviously this was the move from yesterday. We had really massive push to the top side first. This was your push to the top side again, respecting the structure highs. So if we actually look at the 4-hour time frame as well, we are still respecting the structure highs. So, we're forming some sort of rejection here. And this is such a key area that we have. So as soon as we obviously started to reject from this area up here, look what we've done. We actually started to form, again, a double bottom down here. So the same area is still being respected. But I'm kind of thinking what's happened here is, because we had such a massive push to the top side, right? We had a lot of liquidity in the market as well. There was a lot of liquidity above this area that we had. What's happened is we got such an aggressive push to the top side. We tapped into this key area, and this was basically later on. So there was not enough buy orders for us to actually break out of this. So what happened was we started to have some sort of aggressive correction. So this became your correction to the downside. But again, look at the structure lows. We are still respecting the structure lows. That's the thing. But now again, what I'm thinking is, obviously now your correction is done, right? So you gotta understand, this is where you've seen a rejection from. This is the last bit of an area where we saw the rejection from. So again, what I'm thinking is, if we start to hold this area here as a resistance now and start forming lower lows and lower highs, at that point I'm really expecting gold to come down a little bit, because look at your weekly time frame at the moment. What we have done is we still haven't violated the structure lows just yet, and you understand there is a lot of liquidity below the structure lows. But looking at this weekly candle, we are starting to reject from the downside once again. We are still respecting the highs, that's the thing. But now if you look at that intraday range, look at your daily candle at this point, right? You've tapped into this resistance area once again. You have this resistance on the daily time frame, and at this point you're starting to reject. So now our job is to figure out, okay, at this point, does this become a pullback, or are we going to start pushing to the downside? And honestly, I can see us coming down and potentially even breaking these structural lows. And at that point, look at that, you got literally a little bit of a tiny bit of a bottom wick to the downside as well. So we could potentially push down, grabbing liquidity. We have a lot of liquidity below 1758, so that's kind of what I'm looking to see, if we can see the sales playing out today, because it makes a lot of sense for the sales to play out today. Because again, we had such a massive push to the top side, but look how much momentum there was to the downside, and we haven't violated the structural lows just yet. We're still forming lower lows and lower highs at the moment, if you actually look at the bigger picture. So the only thing that we do have now is that we are still respecting this area here. But let's be realistic, guys. The way price actually rejected, look, it rejected all the way from up here, so it actually pushed down about 400 pips. Let's be realistic, is it really going to violate this structure low when it's pushed down so much? No, it's not going to do that, is it? So now honestly what I'm thinking is, looking at this monthly candle, it needs to form a nice bottom wick. It has to form a nice bottom wick. The bottom wick is just really tiny, really tiny. And again, look at the previous monthly candle as well. The amount of times it's actually tried to push up at this point. Now look at that, this was your first attempt to push up just here, and now at this point we started to form lower lows and lower highs. This was your first attempt to actually push up, still respecting this structure here. From here we started to reject. Look at this, now this became our rejection, and we started to close below 17.95 as well at this point. Now this is some sort of resistance area we have. We do understand that potentially when we do start to close below this, you see a massive dump to the downside. So exact same thing actually played out. You guys can see we came all the way down to retest the lows, and now what we have done is, again, the third candle that we had now after this candle, this became our second candle. Again, look, what it done was attempted to break up, failed to break up, had a massive rejection from the downside, and then this candle here, what this candle done was, again, respecting the lows, and then after that started to push up again. But again, we haven't formed new highs just yet. Again, we're just closing bearish. Everything is looking bearish in my opinion, and this technically is starting to look like your retest now, because you had such a massive drop yesterday. So this whole move to the downside had to be corrected. So obviously this was a significant area here. A lot of buy orders were sitting here, so this became your correction now, right? But look, as soon as we tapped into that daily resistance, you're starting to see, again, price is starting to reject now. So now we really need to see, okay, where is that significant area we can look to, and we can look to see, okay, cool, can we execute on a sell position from there? Because we still do have another 19 minutes left before our session opens. But I'm quite bearish on gold today, honestly. Quite bearish on gold, because first of all, look what gold has done yesterday was, we had a lot of liquidity to the top side, so we had that massive push to the top side. But again, even though we had so much liquidity in the market, we still couldn't break above the highs and close up here, because in order for monthly to start forming higher highs and higher lows, it had to close up here somewhere. Look at the way the monthly actually closed. It closed bearish. That's why your monthly candle closed. But again, we haven't violated the monthly lows, so we do understand that, okay, cool, there is a lot of liquidity below the monthly lows. A lot of liquidity. And potentially what I can see is us actually like grabbing a lot of liquidity, retesting the structure to the T. We haven't even retested the structure to the T, the support that we have on the monthly, and then from there start to obviously climb up to the top side. That's where we can start our uptrend. But I'm really thinking now, honestly, that we can start to come down a little bit and gold can start dropping today, because I'm quite bearish on gold today. So I'll be looking for those sells. I can really see this daily just starting to reject at this point now. Massive rejections, starting to respect this resistance area and just literally coming down to grab liquidity. And you gotta understand, liquidity is all the way down. Ooh, look at the rejections now. Ooh, starting to dump already. Look at gold. Look at this rejection. Wow. is dumped like 100 pips already. Amazing. So honestly, that's what I'm thinking, right? We can potentially see a liquidity grab below this area here, and then from there we can see, okay, cool, do we want to start climbing back up, or do we want to start going on a downtrend? Because I did tell you guys one thing, right? If you actually go to the monthly time frame and you actually zoom out, literally we're printing out the same sort of structure. Look at that exact same thing. Formed a new high, we're in a consolidation, attempted to break to the top side numerous times, and then we started a massive downtrend. So we could definitely see something like that being repeated as well. So I'm actually quite bearish on gold today, honestly, quite bearish on gold. But now we got to start marking out our areas, right? Let's see on the 4-hour. Cool. So this is that area where we do understand that we haven't actually broken out of this area for a long time. So below this area we actually have a lot of liquidity. So that's kind of what I'm thinking now. Are we coming down here for liquidity? How much liquidity do we need? Because the monthly needs to form a bottom wick as well, so it needs to form some sort of a sustainable bottom wick. So even if we do start coming down and start breaking below, potentially that could be a decent bottom wick as well, just like retesting the lows of the previous monthly candle, and then from there start to push up. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But really do see gold coming down a little bit though, honestly. Yeah, it needs to come down today. So I'll be more interested in sells today than buys, that's for sure. Again, looking to the left now, let's look at those key areas, right? We are starting to approach these areas here. Looking to the left, look, from here we can start that downtrend. If I just quickly mark this here, if you guys actually look at this wick, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to go to the left as well. So let's use the horizontal line rather than the ray. Let's just change the color to red and see how many times has this area here been respected when every time price wants to obviously drop. So we have one rejection here, second rejection from this same area. Every time, look, price comes down literally to 1769, and we do have that range on the intraday time frame. So I think this will really become that crucial area. We need to see how price reacts around 1781. If we can start respecting this area, start turning it into some sort of resistance, I think we can see a downtrend start today on the intraday time frame. Looking at the 4-hour time frame as well, every time price is coming down, usually this area here becomes that pullback area. You can see massive uptrend started from here as well. Massive momentum to the top side actually started. We started to form higher highs and higher lows. No uptrend, my bad. So if we can start to obviously, otherwise this can become your pullback as well to start pushing all the way to the top side, because the previous candle did attempt to actually break down, and look at the rejection. We actually closed above this area. So we got to be fluid in the markets, right? Have to be fluid in the markets, because also what we can see on the structure is that yesterday was the attempt, and we did actually form new highs yesterday. That's the thing, right? But obviously afterwards we started to drop. We had a massive drop to the downside, and again, you got to understand, a lot of liquidity was generated from that drop as well, even though we haven't violated these lows over here. So another thing we got to keep in our mind, guys, is that we have grabbed a lot of liquidity, right? So this is basically your correction phase now. So either way, if you start to respect this area now, which is 1781, at that point start turning this area into support. At that point we can even take it back up, because we haven't violated the structured lows. And this is potentially just your pullback, because we've tapped into a resistance on the daily time frame. So that's the thing. Have to be really fluid in the market. But I think below this we can definitely start to take it down, because you guys got to keep one thing in your mind, that obviously this was such a massive push to the top side. It created an imbalance in the markets, and then obviously this was like later, I think this was after, like, you know, I think after London closed or something, whenever this happened, I think during that time. So from there you had a lot of significant sellers sitting up here as well. This is a key area for sellers, so they just started to obviously sell from up here, and then price just dumped down, like massive dump started, which was also expected, because the buyers were insane. The amount of momentum there was to the top side. Then again, obviously as soon as that exhausted, and then you had so much selling pressure from up here, something like this was expected. Also the fundamental factors were there as well. Yesterday we had a really high volatile news event. So that's the thing. Again, now we're looking to see this whole move to the top side, us retesting 1795. Is this pretty much the correction done now for the intraday time frame? So this is the first question we do want to ask. Okay, this over here, this bullish move to the top side, is this a correction move? Is the correction done, and can we start the actual move to the downside? Or otherwise what happens is, look, you're starting to again retest the lows for the second time. You guys can see we haven't retested the structure lows before, and we are still respecting this. This is us forming a double bottom on the literally 4-hour time frame. This is a really strong confirmation that, okay, cool, buyers are in control down here. So that's kind of what we have to figure out now. Cool, are we just starting to form higher highs and higher lows to potentially go up to retest the highs once again, and then just start to obviously push up on the monthly time frame, and then later on we can potentially come down to form that bottom wick? Because you gotta understand, it doesn't have to form a bottom wick on the first or the second day. It can come down in, like, you know, in a week or two later to form that bottom wick. So you never know. But I am quite bearish on gold today, though, to be completely honest. I think we can see a massive push to the downside. Obviously, you got to see, cool. Usually, where do we start the downtrend from? We can start the downtrend. Look at that, literally to the T, literally to the T. So honestly, if we do start turning this area into some sort of resistance now, let's see if we can see some more structure on the hourly time frame. That might make it better for us. So look at that. This is the new low we have formed. We saw a lot of momentum kicking from here to the top side. Looking to the left as well, again, this is where you have a lot of buy orders, significant amount of buy orders, a lot of buy orders down here as well. Again, a lot of buy orders down here. So honestly, if we can start to actually like break below these areas, I think then at that point, looking to the left, we do have clean traffic. Honestly, we do have clean traffic. Previously, what we've done is now, look, this is the low we have formed. Potentially this was your push up after we formed that double bottom. This became your push up, right? So at this point now, this push to the downside should not violate these structure lows if this is pretty much just your pullback to start pushing up and start forming higher highs and higher lows. And you would want to see 1781 being respected, because you can understand there are a lot of buy orders down here. So you would actually want to see pretty much gold just retesting this support and massive push to the top side. But now let's say if you start turning this resistance area here into some sort of significant resistance area, and then you see a lot of momentum to the downside, you start closing below 1780, 1781, you start to violate the structure lows, and you come back up to retest and then again hold this area as a resistance. At that point, it becomes really simple. Gold wants to come down, because look at the daily candle. The bottom wick is just not sustainable, is it? It's a really tiny bottom wick at the moment because of the push to the downside that we had yesterday. It had to be corrected, right? It had to be corrected. So as soon as some momentum kicked in, gold just pushed up. Honestly, as soon as the new monthly candle opened, obviously a lot of momentum kicked in, right? So gold just pushed straight up. So let's just see what happens today. Honestly, we're fluid in the market. I don't mind taking buys as well as sells. We'll have to wait for ourselves, because again, it's starting to look like we are respecting this area and starting to actually hold this area as a support area. Because you got to understand now, if we do start holding this area as support, we can most definitely capitalize on a buy position and just aim for that 1-to-1 up to the next resistance level, right? The next area of rejection, which is about like 100 pips away from 1781. So you gotta understand, there is a lot of liquidity in the market as well. A lot of liquidity in the market. Market was really tricky yesterday. So if you are actually not like an advanced trader, you definitely got tricked. A lot of retail traders got tricked yesterday. You guys gotta understand that there is a lot of liquidity in the market, and this double, you gotta understand, the most recent thing that we are doing at the moment is we're forming this double bottom here. We're literally forming higher highs and higher lows. Even if you look at the 30-minute structure, because it will obviously show you, it will show you more information. Look at that, literally just forming higher highs, higher lows. Had such a massive candle here to the top side, so a really massive candle here. This area here, we definitely do want to look out for this area here though, because every time price does start to push up from this area. So look, at this point now, this became such a massive push to the top side, right? This became your pullback, still haven't violated the structure lows, and again, you're starting to push up once again now. So honestly, we really have to see now. We start breaking above this, start turning this area into some sort of support. At that point, most definitely we're coming up to retest the highest. And we just have to wait for another 8 minutes. That's when we're going to see more volatility kick in. And this move to the downside, which is so aggressive, so aggressive. Look at this, man, like 400 pips. And I think we've pushed up so far about 200 pips, right? Yeah, 200, just a little bit over 200 pips. So yeah, let's see. Honestly, let's see. This area here have to be a little bit careful about this area here though. And still holding this area, this becomes your 30-minute lows now. Look, from here we had a really massive push to the top side now. So obviously these lows over here, this is your 30-minute lows now. After breaking the structure as well, this pretty much becomes your pullback, right? So what business price has breaking below this now? So we got to keep that in our mind now. As long as these 30-minute lows are being respected, we should be good to go up. These are our lows. Let's quickly just check the hourly lows as well. Yeah, these are also your hourly lows over here. So again, forming higher highs and higher lows, still forming a support above this area that we have. This is a really strong area, 1781. We have a lot of orders over here, and at the moment we're forming higher highs and higher lows. So simple. Because at the end of the day, right, if the daily did want to start rejecting from up here, it will start breaking below this with no problem whatsoever. But if you actually look at the structure once again, even if I show you the minute time frame, look at this aggressive candle, literally forming a double bottom down here on the hourly lows, and from here look at this aggressive push to the top side. It pushed up about like 56 pips. Let's also just check Forex Factory today. We have USD news, which was obviously the push to the top side. We had this news, anything after our session, same news event that we have at 3 o'clock. I don't think there's anything else that we have to be concerned about, do we? Nah. Okay, yeah, again, nothing should really affect us. This was before our session, and this should be after our session now. So technically this move here was because of news as well. You guys got to keep that in your mind. So let's just see what happens. At this point, what can start to happen is we can start to you can start seeing buyers obviously starting to exhaust, because you got to understand, like, this push here was due to news as well. So now again, what's that one point where we start to see bearish momentum kick in from? A lot of momentum kicks in from here, and we just literally had a really high volatile news event. And if we still fail to break above this and start violating the hourly lows, at that point most definitely will come in down. We're just starting to build probability now to the downside. It's so simple. Otherwise, what will happen is start to form lower lows, lower highs, higher highs, higher lows, and start pushing up and start breaking these hourly lows. If you start breaking above this, at that point, yeah, most definitely you're coming up to 17.95. But if we still respect this area now, this becomes our range. It literally was a really high volatile news event. So if we fail to break above this once again, we do understand that a lot of sellers are sitting up here. At that point, we start to break below the hourly lows once again. I'm more than happy to execute on a sell position, honestly. More than happy to execute on a sell position. So we'll have to be really fluid in the market today, because I can see sales playing out from here, honestly. Look at your 4 hours, or really tiny bottom wick. We haven't even retested 1781. So if you can actually capitalize on a sell position from up here, that'll be great. From up here, like top side. So 89 is the top side of the range. So if you can catch it from up here, like the 25% mark, that'll be amazing. At that point, we can let it ride all the way down to 1781, and it shouldn't be a concern to us, because our 121 should be secured before that anyway. So if it wants to break down and keep on pushing down, all great. If it wants to reject, well, doesn't concern us, does it? We've secured our profits up here. So let's see. But I can see sales playing out today, honestly. Can see sales playing out. Got this support area here as well. Do you see some sort of momentum kick in now from up here? So again, let's also demark this as well for an extra bit of confluence. If we do start to turn this area into some sort of resistance area, I would want to see obviously this area here being turned into some sort of resistance, and then at that point you're kind of like going to anticipate this to be broken and price to potentially come down to 1781. Quick 1-to-1 scalp. Have about 22 pip range as well, and let's just see if we stay above this. Look, again, just a correction, just some sort of pullback to start breaking the highs. But if we start respecting these highs now, you're pretty much forming a double top up here, which is, and you can see a lot of momentum kicked in from this point on, like to the downside. A lot of momentum kicked in, and this was a really high volatile news event. So even with that, if you couldn't break to the top side, then obviously you're just coming down, right? But also another thing can be happening is that cool, because of the news event, you had that push to the top side. It was such an aggressive push, and now obviously price has calmed down a little bit, so it's just doing a pullback to start breaking the highs once again. It's really simple. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Because look at this, momentum to the top side is kicking in once again. So we start breaking above this, start turning this into some sort of support. At that point, we're coming up to the daily highs. The daily highs are all the way up there. I would want to see some sort of pullback though, for sure. Okay, another 3 minutes left for our session to open. Morning YouTube chat, let's get it this morning. Yes sir, let's get it, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Morning, morning, morning guys. At the moment I'm not looking at the chat guys, because I have two screens. One is for TradingView, the other one's for MetaTrader 5. So yeah, I'll answer all the questions once our session is obviously done, when I've taken my trades. But make sure you guys do drop a like on the YouTube live stream. All it takes is literally a second, and as I said, it helps with the algorithm, so we really do appreciate that. Okay, let's see now what we can do. Again, starting to form higher highs and higher lows. This double bottom down here is becoming really strong at this point now. One thing we do want to keep in our mind though, we have this resistance area literally just up here. So in order for us to like capitalize on a buy position as well, it becomes really tricky, really tricky. Just like right now, it becomes really tricky. You would want to see price actually like you would want to see price to actually retest this, and then from there see what sort of reaction we get from the markets. And then at that point, you can safely say, okay, cool, I'm going to take this or I'm going to take that. Paul, did you send me something?
Yeah, brother, I'm trying to figure out why my TradingView chart keeps sliding to the right.
What?
Yeah, like, it doesn't let me see the candles.
Bro, just refresh it. Refresh it. Or open it in a new tab. Just try that. That's never happened to me before, my brother.
Yeah, that's why I was like sending you the video.
Okay. Very careful. Okay guys, another minute left for our session to open. Another minute left. Okay, again, look at that. Momentum to the top side is kicking in. Let's just see now. Just so get our magic keys ready as well. Because look, we're still forming higher highs and higher lows. The structure lows are still being respected at the moment, but again, we are starting to approach that area from where we did see that massive rejection start from. So let's see what happens now. You gotta understand, there was a high volatile news event which made price obviously push up really aggressively, and then this became your pullback now. So you're about to tap into that area now. From this area, we saw a lot of momentum kick into the downside. So let's see now from here, maybe we can, oh yeah, this is it now. This is it now. I don't think we're coming down. This might just be an entry, honestly. Starting to break up. I might just be looking to, let's see how this one closes. I think we're going to see aggressive push to the top side at this point now. If we start to see a nice close on this candle, we'll want to wait for the close. Retest, starts breaking its own highs, might just be a scalp to the top side, guys. Starts breaking its own highs, but let's just see how it opens. Let's see how it closes as well. Wait for it. Might be looking to take an entry here if the next one starts breaking the highs now. Starts turning 1789.99 into some sort of support, but let's wait for the highs to break. The moment it can start dropping, so need to wait. We might take a position here. If we start turning this into some sort of support, we have momentum, we have everything. Nothing's gonna stop us from coming to the top side, which is our daily highs at this point now. And I've seen this happen many times before. So now we have to wait. We need to wait for this to settle down a little bit. Either it's going to fake out the previous candle, or we're going to see aggressive push to the top side once again as soon as we start turning this into some sort of support. The current 30-minute lows are literally all the way here. You understand that as well. There is no bottom.
Hello?
The 30-minute
Hello?
lows. Who's that?
Hello? Hi.
Who's this? How did he get the link? Who was that?
That's crazy. It
Okay.
said blood clot.
Yeah, anyway, starting to push down once again. I think we started to become famous. People are starting to troll us now. No, I'm not gonna report him, man. I'll let it slide. But just don't mess up the stream like that, please. Alright, cool. Again, at this point now, we have the bottom wick as well as the upper wick. Honestly, starting to reject this once again. Now, if we see another engulfing bullish candle starting to close above this once again, I'm looking to take this up. Honestly, let's see how this closes though, because this is the upper wick. This is the bottom wick formed. At this point now, we have obviously retested. We're retesting the same area at this point now. So obviously, we start to reject this and start breaking the bottom wick. At that point, you can say go down. But I think from here, we're gonna start seeing a really massive push to the top side. If we start to clear pretty much this rejection area once again, start to close above this, I think this might be the push to the top side, but let's just wait for that extra bit of confirmation. I'm still waiting before I enter. Okay, I might be looking to take an entry soon, honestly. If we start to see a close above this once again, you understand, a lot of selling momentum up here. So let's see how price reacts around this area. From here, you can see momentum kick into the downside. What business does price have breaking its own lows once again? It has a really nice sustainable bottom wick, so it should not break below this at this point. Now, you should turn this area into some sort of support to start pushing up. That's how it should be. So let's just see now what happens. If we start to clear these highs once again, I think we're coming up at that point. Let's just see how price reacts around these highs over here that we are approaching. I want to see how price reacts around here. Okay, this might be it, guys. I might be looking to take an entry as soon as we start to see another momentum push to the top side. Magic keys is open.
Hey, what up, you fucking mad cunt? How you traveling, brother? Oi, I'm here because I heard you're the fucking best of the best, my bro.
Man. Bro. This is insane now. How can I make this? Let me see if I can make the Zoom private.
It should have been private already, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how he's getting the link. I don't know how he got the link.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I need to block everyone else from entering. That's what I need to do. Do you guys know how to do that? Souls might be starting to play out if we start to turn the area into resistance. Otherwise, we're going up to the top side. Another minute left. This is it now. I think from here we can start to push up. I don't mind trolls, man, but not at this time, guys. This is a crucial minute for us. Troll us when we've taken our trades, man. I love trolls, but not right now, man. Need to be focused. Otherwise, you're gonna make me lose money. It's no good. Okay, cool. At this point, honestly, again, making me lose focus over here, guys. What's happening, man? Starting to see trolls. Insane. I'm trying to think, how did he get the link though? Because someone must have given him the link. Someone within our group chat has to give him the link, otherwise there's no way he can join. So that's what I'm thinking. How did he get the link? Because this is a
Why
private...
is that me?
Did anyone share the link or something?
Negative.
Okay, I think from here now. Okay. Cool. Anyway, we'll figure this out after this session. But I think, look, we're starting to turn this area again into resistance now. We see a massive push to the downside from here, start to break these structure lows. I think we can take it down. Look at the 30 minutes, just starting to reject once again. If it starts breaking its own lows again with momentum, I think we can come down, honestly, from here. Let's just see, though, because they might just want to retest it and start to push up once again. Because at the moment, the momentum to the downside is actually not as aggressive. This is the new 5-minute open as well, right? As the upper wick as well as the bottom wick now. Look at that. So from here, It should not break the lows of the previous 5 minutes either. From here, you should see a lot of momentum to the top side kicking. As soon as we start breaking the highs, I'll be in for a position to the top side. As soon as we start breaking above these highs once again, I'm going to take an entry just up here. But if we do start to hold this, start breaking to the downside, start turning this into a resistance, and there is a lot of momentum to the downside, we can take it down. But again, at the moment, looking at the 4 hour, forming a double bomb down here. As I said, we can come up to retest the daily highs, and from there start to drop. So potentially can scale in on that 1-to-1 sort of position, about keeping stop loss about 20 plus pips. I'll be looking to take a position up here for sure though. I'll be interested in an impulsive entry as well up here. It can work out, honestly. Something like that. Stop loss obviously below this key area that we have, crucial area. Let's just see now. You have a more someone said you can mute all so they can't talk, only you can. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know what's happening. I think we're starting to become famous, guys. I guess we're starting to become famous. People need to start trolling us. Insane, right? Insane. We must be doing something, right? But again, we are within this consolidation now. Look, as soon as we start breaking above now, we have had a lot of attempts to break to the downside. This is when you have a lot of volatility in the market now. And look at that. The 30-minute has formed new lows as well as the highs, right? Obviously, it did expect some sort of rejections from here. But now we start clearing this area, start turning this area into some sort of support, which is about 1789. I think from there, we can take it back up. That's why this entry here makes a lot of sense, even though it is at the top side of the range. Usually something like this we would not execute on, but today it makes a lot of sense, as I said, because the top side of the range is actually the daily highs. Look at the range to the top side. Insane. So let's see now. I'll be looking for an entry over here, honestly. Let's see. I want to see some momentum kick in. At the moment we are within this consolidation though. That's the thing. I want to see some momentum kick in. Still just tapping this resistance area. We're still chilling below this key area that we have. But honestly, if you can start to engulf everything to the left now and start breaking highs, start forming higher highs and higher lows, start turning this area into some sort of support. Because look, we're still retesting this and turning this into some sort of resistance. Still seeing rejections from this area. You want to see price starting to close above this. Some sort of retest of this and start breaking above here. It makes sense to take a position. But otherwise, again, just forming lower lows and lower highs, we are still within this consolidation. The lows of the consolidation are here, which is also your 30-minute lows as well, right? What business does price have breaking its own lows once again? No business whatsoever, unless it wants to start coming down. So this could be a super sniper entry from up here as well. For sells can play out as well. Also the buys can play out. This is the new 5-minute open now. This should have a lot of momentum. So if it starts breaking the highs of the previous 5-minute candle, I think we can start taking it up. But again, I want to see momentum candles. At the moment, I'm not seeing anything. We are stuck within this consolidation. I want to see a lot of momentum kick in. Start to pretty much just engulf everything to the left. At that point, we are going up. We are going up. And I think gold will come down. It needs to come down, but I think it will come down maybe later on. Maybe not today. Let's just see what happens, because we have a lot of liquidity in the market, so it can start forming higher highs and higher lows for now. And then when obviously it does start to exhaust again and it wants to grab liquidity, at that point we can start to see gold dropping, or even a massive push to the top side to grab liquidity, because both way you have liquidity. So simple, right? Again, forming higher highs and higher lows. Waiting for that momentum candle. As soon as I can see that rocket ship of a candle, I'll take an impulsive entry. Obviously, I'll be going in with low risk, about 0.7%, not 1% risk, because there will be an impulsive entry, but it makes sense, right? I'm looking to take a quick entry here. Otherwise, my stop loss will be really, really massive if I was to wait. But best thing to do will be to wait for this to break, retest, and then take it up. But we have a lot of momentum at the moment. Okay, I might be looking to take an entry just now if I see a massive break of 1789 starts pushing up once again. I don't want to see this reject. I want to see a massive push to the top side. At that point, I'm taking this impulsive entry over here today. Again, I want to see momentum. There we go. This is it. This is the area we are approaching from here. Potentially can reject. Okay, this is it now. Another push to the top side. I'm in this. Give me this push. it can potentially start to reject. We turn this into support, start breaking the highs, it makes sense to take a entry. Magic keys are ready. Let's go. Again, want to see momentum. I want to see momentum at this point now. This is it now. This might just be the entry now, honestly. Let's see how this candle reacts around this area. We are tapping that key area. So let's see now what happens. You know, guys, I'm going to enter here. I'm going to put my stop loss just below these structure lows here and aim for the 1-to-1. Very easily we can start to reject from here as well. That's why I've gone in with low risk now. You can really easily start to reject, and massive bearish candles can start printing out because it is an impulsive entry. As I said, safe option is wait for this to break and then take a position, but my stop loss is going to be really big if I do that, so I'm willing to actually take a risk on this position because it makes sense. We're forming high highs, high lows, starting to break the 30-minute highs again, starting to form new highs, so it makes sense that we're going to go up, right? So I'm going to just take this position here and I'm putting my stop loss just below the previous structure lows, aiming for the 1-to-1 at this point. Now let's see what happens. It makes sense, right? It makes a lot of sense. But it can still very easily reject. Keep that in your mind. Haven't seen a close above, but I've taken a position here, as you guys can see. Now we start breaking above this, start turning this area into some sort of support. At that point, look, that was like the original entry we were waiting for anyway, right? So we start breaking above this. I just got super sniper entry before the move even happened, so that's amazing in my opinion. So this is about 3 pips up at this point now. As soon as we start breaking above 1790, at that point I'll have a lot of confidence, because you gotta understand, this is the resistance area we had, right? From here we saw a lot of selling momentum kick in. Now we are still below this area, so from here you can still see selling momentum kick in, but as soon as we start to break above this, we have we've got a wick which is above the previous wick as well. So technically we did break above the wick. We are trying to form new high highs and high lows, but it seems like there is just not much momentum to the top side. So now you want to see, okay, when will the next bit of momentum kick in the next minute? So at this point now, you want to see with the next 15-minute candle, what the next 15-minute candle does is it pushes down to pretty much the support area that we have, all the way down to 1787. But you don't want to see this being broken, because from here you start to form that leg to the top side, right? If we can start to respect this, at that point, look, you're forming a bottom wick, start to break to the top side, is going all the way to the top side. At that point, it's going up, it's going all the way up. But look at your daily candle now. Rejected from that resistance area, right? Came down, had a pullback. That was your pullback, and then again the pullback is being respected. We haven't seen any sort of aggression, any sort of aggressive drop, so that's what gave me that confidence to take it up. So this is the 15-minute. You want it to come down a little bit first, come down to at least the support area, form that sustainable sort of bottom wick, and then after that just start to violate all highs. But if there is a lot of momentum, it might not even want to come down, it might just start to rocket ship straight to the top side. But obviously from here you can expect those rejections. Now as soon as it taps 1790, from here you can expect those rejections, and from there you can expect the 15-minute to start coming down. So if we see a drawdown, it shouldn't scare us whatsoever, because again, forming higher highs, higher lows, this is a high confirmation trade. Yeah, a little bit of an impulsive entry, but again, we start breaking above this, we're coming up. Nothing stopping us from coming up. So let's see, this should be that rocket ship of a candle anyway. We have been consolidating so far. Either this will show you momentum to the downside or the top side. Either way, the momentum should kick in now, right? This is the new 15-minute open. This is when you should have a lot of momentum. So look, we've tapped into this resistance area now. Two things will happen. Either we'll see the rejection and the formation of the bottom wick, so it is going to potentially start coming down. But if there is a lot of momentum in this candle, at that point you're not even coming down, you're just going to push up straight away, straight to the top side. There we go. This is that bottom wick now. So you want to see one of these support areas here being respected. If it is a massive bearish candle, at that point, look, the top side is being respected, and you're going to see the momentum to the downside kick in. So you want to see this candle now starting to reject and starting to break the highs of the previous candle, and then at that point retesting the highs of the structure, violating the highs of the structure. At that point, this is a really high confirmation trade. Look at your 15-minute candle now as a bottom wick. It could push down pretty much a little bit more if it doesn't have a lot of momentum. I can see it pushing down a bit more, tapping this resistance area now. From here, you do want to see rejections kick in. Otherwise, I can get wicked out. My stop loss, as I said, is really tiny. It's a low risk position. Usually, the stop loss will be below the structural lows, because potentially you can see some sort of correction down to the structural lows. Oh, don't wick me out, don't wick me out, don't wick me out. I'll start to reject. Oh, I'm so close to getting wicked up. Oh, might be getting wicked up here, guys. Unfortunately, this is it. It needs to start pushing up now. Otherwise, it's gonna come down to the structure lows and wake me up. From here, I want to see a push to the top side. This area should be respected now. This should start turning into an engulfing bullish candle. Otherwise, it's gonna wake me up because I got a really tight stop loss. Oh, I think I'm getting wicked out today. Push from here. I am about to get wicked out. And again, look at the 30-minute lows. We're about to violate them. Now at this point, you can really see sales playing out, but I got wicked out, guys. So until we violate the structure lows, we are still going to go up. But again, as I said, I had a tiny stop loss and I had a low risk position, but I'm gonna scale back in. Let me just quickly adjust my risk. From here, you can really see that push to the top side. 15 minutes, as I said, had to form the bottom wick. Look at the 15-minute. The bottom wick is really sustainable. Now you see this whole push to the top side, right? It needs to form a nice bottom wick, so at least like correct 50% of the move. So I did expect something like this. I was a little bit concerned. I knew I was potentially gonna get wicked out if I did put my stop loss there. But honestly, at this point now, look at that. You're gonna start seeing a push to the top side. But unfortunately, I just got wicked out. I'm gonna go back in with another position though. I had really low risk position on. But I want to see momentum. You're gonna see probably momentum kick into the top side now and position starting to play out. So I'm gonna give this another go. Let me quickly adjust my risk. From here it can turn into the rocket ship. Unfortunately got wicked out. You know, every time I'll have a losing trade is when I have a tight stop loss. Every single time when I put a tight stop loss, I always have a losing trade. Okay, let me just quickly adjust the risk. Because gold is so volatile and we know you will easily get wicked out with gold, so it doesn't make sense to actually have this sort of tight stop loss, but it is what it is. From here you can see it playing out. Honestly, you want to see an engulfing bullish candle at this point now. At that point you can most definitely look to take it back up. So let's just see now. From here we are starting to respect this. I might be looking to take another entry here. At this point, obviously a little bit of a better entry as well. But now, honestly, we start respecting this area as a support. We're going up. Structure lows are all the way down there. All the way down there. This was just a pullback with the 15 minutes, which we did expect. Let's see what happens now. If it starts to push up now, aggressively, I'm going to look to take an entry here. Oh, hold on a second. My magic keys. Hold on a second, guys. Magic keys is bugging out a little bit. Looking for an entry here for sure, though. If it starts to push up aggressively, let's quickly just put some risk in. Okay, everything looks good now. Okay, great. Cool. Look at the structure once again. At this point now, we have violated the lows of the 30-minute once again. You understand that, guys? But this was literally just a retest, right? From here, I'm looking to take it all the way up once again if you start to see momentum kick in, honestly. But let's just wait. Let's just wait. Because right now, we don't see anything. Need to wait for this confirmation. But as I said, this was literally just a pullback. I got wicked up. So it was not actually a losing trade. So I might be looking to take a trade here now if I see some sort of aggressive momentum kick into the top side. Let's just see how it pushes, because it can still reject from here really, really easily. We haven't even violated the highs of the previous candle. Keep that in your mind. But again, you know, guys, I'm going to scale in with one tiny entry just here as soon as it starts to break its own highs. But I'm going to scale in with a tiny entry because the trade is still valid. As I said, I just got wicked out. So if it starts breaking its own highs, I'm in this trade because it's the same trade. A high probability trade. I literally just got wicked out. It's so simple, right? But let's just see what happens. I'm going to scale in with another entry, but again, low risk. Let's see if it breaks its own highs though. At that point, you're going to see a rocket ship of a candle to the top side. Yeah, I'm going to scale in with one entry here. And I'm going to aim for the 1-to-1. Because as I said, the trade is a winning trade. I just got wicked out. So I'm just scaling back in, giving the same trade a second chance to play out basically. So I've taken one tiny entry down here now. So let's see how this plays out. Because same trade, just giving it another try. So my entry is actually here. The 121 is all the way up here. And oh, whoa, look at this now. Ooh, 12 pips up. I might be making a risk free soon though, because the 121's here, the stop loss is actually below the structure. I might be making a risk free because from here you can expect those pullbacks as well. You want to expect those pullbacks, but look at the lows, look at the highs of the previous bearish candle being broken at this point as well. And you're coming back up once again. You could have started to make low lows and low highs from down there, right? So I don't mind being in a little bit of a drawdown. I'll look to scale in with another position once we start to break the highs. Until then, I'm going to give this a go. Unfortunately, I got wicked up, but again, the position that I did take was a really high probability position. Again, we're tapping this area now. You want to see this area here being broken. Obviously, you are expecting rejections from here now. This is the resistance area now. You want to see price starting to obviously respect it, starting to close above this. So this was the last bit of a rejection area. From here, you can expect that pullback, but at this point, you should not be breaking below this structure lows. The structure lows are all the way down there. Look at that. We've also violated the highs of the previous bearish candle. So at this point, are you expecting that pullback? As soon as we start clearing these highs now, we're coming for the structure highs. I'm going to start breaking above the structure highs, and we should be good to go up. Same trade, just giving it a second chance. Again, with low risk. I'm not going in with like a lot of risk. This is less than 1% risk again. But as soon as I obviously get my 121, this is going to give me obviously profits or even break even. At that point, I can scale in with another position. And if that last position plays out, I'm going to make about 1% or even more for the day. Let's see how it plays out. But again, I don't see the sells playing out from here. Honestly, I want to see the buys playing out. I think it's just struggling a little bit because it needs more momentum to kick in. So if we can start breaking above this consolidation before the new 4 hour approaches, with the new 4 hour, it needs to form that bottom wick, right? At that point, I can scale in with another position with the new 4 hour. But let's just see how it plays out though. If it does wick me out once again, or if it does stop me out, because we are still within this consolidation, the structure lows are still all the way down there. My stop loss is not below the structure lows just yet. But I don't want to see these lows here being violated. At that point, I'll just wait for the new 4 hour to open. But honestly, we should start respecting this area, start turning 1789.53 into support, and start breaking to the top side. This should be that rocket ship of a candle. It should start breaking above the structure highs and hit my partial TP. I mean, I'm sitting at 10 pips now. As soon as we start breaking above structure highs, at that point, I'll look to make it risk-free. Until then, I'm going to give you a little bit more room to breathe. But as soon as we start to break the structure highs, I'm going to look to make it risk-free. Because my partial TP is just a little bit above the structure highs. Until then, you can see corrections, you can see pullbacks, which is expected, right? So let's just see what happens, because the top side of the range is just here, and we are still holding the top side of the range, so you guys can see. But as soon as you start breaking above 1790.50, and if we can do that before the new 4 hour open, at that point nothing is stopping us from coming to the top side of the range. So let's see how this plays out. Same trade idea, I just scaled in with the second position because the first one got wicked out. So even if my stop loss was in a sensible place, I should have still been within this, like, you know, I should have been in this trade still, should not have been stopped out, unless obviously sellers do take control. At that point, this would be an invalid trade. So this technically was not a losing trade, I just got wicked out because of the stop loss placement. It was in a silly place. It should have been below structure lows. It was not below structure lows because I was trying to catch that 1-to-1 quick scalp, right? So let's see how it plays out now. From here, if it starts to break above the structure highs, we should be good to go up. But it starts to violate these structure lows once again with the new 4 hour approaching. At that point, honestly, I'm going to give it a little bit of a break and hold off. Let's see how it plays out though. Should be good to go. So far, we're still turning this area into some sort of support. We just need a little bit more momentum to kick in. As soon as we start to violate these structure highs, you're going to see it's going to turn into a rocket ship of a candle, starting to break all highs. And let's see now. We've got another, obviously, look at this 5-minute candle as well. Let's quickly just check this now. You have that bottom wick as well as the upper wick. You don't want to see this bottom wick being violated. You just want to see price breaking the highs of the previous 5-minute candle. At that point, you're coming up to your structure highs. And as soon as we start to break the structure highs, you're going to see a really massive push to the top side, and it's going to hit my partial TB. Until then, we're just going to see something like this. Consolidation is going to come down, go up. There we go. It's broken the highs of the previous 5-minute candle at this point now. So it's coming for the structure highs now. As soon as we start breaking above the structure highs, we're going straight to the partial TP. So we were up more than 12 pips. We're up more than 12 pips. As soon as we start breaking above the structure highs, I'm going to make it risk-free, honestly. But until then, I can expect pullbacks. It's expected because there is just no momentum in the markets at the moment. It's just within this consolidation, so it will come down until we see momentum kick in. But look at the highs have been broken. The highs of the previous 5-minute candle has been broken. So we still are technically forming higher highs and higher lows. But because there is not much momentum in the market, it's going to start pulling back once again, potentially retest the support area from there, pushing back up. But if it starts breaking below these structural lows, at that point I'm going to hold on taking any more buys until we start to break out of this consolidation, because the lows of the consolidation are all the way down there. And if we don't have a lot of momentum, at that point we're just going to see sellers taking control again from the top side and then starting to break structural lows. So again, we are expecting pullbacks, but now the structural low here should be respected. If I get wicked out again, then I'm just going to hold on these buys. But this should really work out, because technically we are still forming higher highs, higher lows. Look at the 5-minute candle. We have broken the highs of the previous candle. At this point, again, because there is not much momentum in the market, you are expecting a pullback after forming a new high. You are expecting that low as well, because price needs to move in a wavy sort of structure, right? So this is price just moving in a wavy structure. But if it starts breaking below this, at that point, look, it's starting to violate the structural lows. So now at this point, this is the pullback. Now you want to see technically price can pull down to 1787. If it does, it can do. Again, you haven't violated the structural lows if it does pull down. But again, you want to see the way price pulls down. If it's too aggressive, starts to break below the structural lows, at that point, honestly, we'll look to take this position out. Let's just see how it plays out. Because we are within this consolidation, I don't want to keep on executing on positions within this consolidation, even though they are low risk positions. I'd rather just see a clean break to the top side and the downside, and then take that 1% risk position, which will make back both of the losses, because they are tiny losses. So let's just see how it plays out. Again, this becomes your pullback now. So as long as we still respect 1787.70, and then from there see a bounce to the top side, we should be good. Otherwise, we're just going to be stuck within this consolidation. We're going to come to the lows of the consolidation, and then the top side of the consolidation start to break the lows again, go up. So we're just going to have to wait for the new 4-hour to open at that point. But again, expecting a pullback now. And then from here, I want to see a engulfing bullish candle, a rocket ship of a candle starting to break all highs. We are forming higher highs, higher lows, but we haven't broken out of this consolidation. This is what you want to see, this consolidation break. Got another minute left for the new 4-hour now. Let's see if with the new 4-hour open, we can potentially start to break up to the top side. But it becomes a bit tricky now with the 4-hour as well. I can potentially get wicked up, because it needs to come down to form that bottom wick. And the structure lows are all the way down there. Oh man, this area here needs to be respected now. It needs to start breaking to the top side. And let's just hope with the new 4-hour open, I don't get wicked out. Because most probably with the new 4-hour open, we can see a massive momentum push to the downside. That's why we usually don't take positions 5 minutes before the new 4-hour open, because they can really wick you out. So now you see the area that is being respected. Look, this becomes your pullback now. The 4-hour needs to start pushing down. As long as this area here is holding, we should start breaking to the top side. This is the new 4-hour open now. Let's see what happens. The structure lows are all the way down there. That's the issue. So the 4-hour can literally start to break below this structure, which is obviously my stop loss. Is quite tight. Come down to retest the structure lows, form a double bottom hit, and then from there see a massive push to the top side. Let's just see what happens now though. It's the new 4-hour open now. Few days ago you're trading at support to buy. Today you're at resistance. Yeah, I'm fluid in the market, guys. I trade the way I want to trade. Trust me, I'll buy from support, I'll buy from resistance. A lot goes into this. Price action is not the same every single day. Every day you have different confluences. Every day you have different setups. Buying at resistance makes sense for this trade. And if this works out now, you'll see why. And if you want to wait for it to go down to the support area, you can, if that's what you're comfortable with. Usually, yeah, I do buy it from the lows, the support, but there are reasons why I'm buying gold up here. And now, hopefully with this 4-hour, let's see if we can start to break above the structure highs, because look, it's got to form the upper wick as well, right? So after forming the upper wick, it can potentially start to drop. But now, again, we start turning 1789 into some sort of support. The area that we are approaching now, at that point, is going to start coming up to the structure highs. But look, this area here is holding as a pullback area, which I did say. This area should hold as a pullback area. So if we start to break below this, then most probably can get wicked up. But again, guys, we are really fluid in the market. It's every day is not going to be the same. Not every day you're going to see the same setup. But when you do understand price action, you can even buy at all-time highs. It makes sense. If it makes sense, I'll execute on it. Again, it's a game of probability. It's just a game of probability. There we go. This is the new 4-hour open now. This should give me that push to the top side. As long as we don't break below this, which is 1787, we should be good to go. Below this, I might be looking to manage some risk because it has that bottom wick which it did need to form. You're still respecting the same area. You know a lot of buy orders out down here. So at this point now, you want to see this area here being violated. Otherwise, you are just forming the upper wick to start coming down to potentially retest a strong area. And then from there, push up. But again, let me tell you one thing, guys. You can buy at literally gold. You can buy gold at literally daily resistance as well. If it makes sense, you can buy gold anywhere. But it's just about risk management. You can buy it anywhere. Look, for me to buy it here, it makes sense. It makes sense. There is a reason. There are confluences. There are confirmations. I'm not just buying this for no reason. There are confirmations for me to actually buy gold, you know, at all-time highs. Yeah, sure, I can wait for it to come down. But again, what if I do? And what if it just starts pushing up now, starts breaking above the resistance and it goes up to the daily highs? Then what? Am I going to wait for it to come down after my session? No. I'm in a sell from 1789. We are in a 15-minute POI, so we should get deeper pull to the lows. Yeah, potentially you guys can see a pullback, but if we start forming higher highs and higher lows with the with the new 4-hour open, at that point gold is not coming down. Again, the lows are here. If you start to break below these lows, then yeah, potentially can come down. But so far, I don't see why we're gonna come down. Could come down. Yeah, we are within this consolidation. If there is not much momentum and it wants to come down to form a bottom wick, yeah, potentially can come down. But so far, so good. So far, so good. We're forming higher highs, higher lows. We haven't violated the structure lows. Everything is saying gold wants to go up. So yeah, but most definitely it can come down. We are within this consolidation. If it's not ready to break out of the consolidation, it can come down. But so far, so good to go up. It's the same thing yesterday. People were saying sells, and then gold did go up, right? So it's the same thing, guys. Same thing. If it wants to come down, it will come down. If it wants to go up, it will go up. So simple. I have the confirmations to take it up, and that's why I've executed on this trade. But it can most definitely come down and stop me out. It's just part of the game, no big deal. But this is a high confirmation trade in my opinion, so I've taken it. We just need a little bit more momentum to kick in out to the top side, honestly. As soon as another minute candle, we got the next 5-minute candle opening. With that, I want to see some sort of a pullback, and from there form a bottom wick and then start breaking up to the top side. Look, this is starting to reject from this resistance area here now. And so obviously from here, this is where you're expecting those pullbacks now. So the next one that opens, you want it to come down just a little bit more, and you want it to start turning 1789.29 into some sort of support and then become a rocket ship to the top side. Again, you have the lows on the 4-hour now. The 4-hour lows are literally all the way down here. You don't have really massive lows. So potentially with the new 5-minute open, you can see that pullback now. Potentially forming some sort of deeper pullback, deeper lows, and then from there start to push up. But if there is a lot of momentum in the market, which there can be, you're not going to see any more pullbacks now. This is the new 5-minute open now. Look at that. It needs to start coming down now. Potentially form just a little bit of a bottom wick on the 4-hour time frame. Potentially tapping 1787. But if there is a lot of momentum, you're not going to see that. It's going to start breaking its own highs now after pulling back. And then at that point, it's going to be a rocket ship all the way to the TP. It's going to start breaking out of this consolidation. Just need the momentum to kick in. Again, coming up to the highs now. Let's look at the 5-minute resistance once again. Look at that. We're about to tap into the 5-minute resistance. From there, you can see the pullback and sellers starting to play out. The price starting to go down. But if you start breaking above this, we're coming up. Honestly, if we start breaking above these 5-minute highs again, we're coming up for the top side of the consolidation. Just need the momentum to kick in now. At that point, we'll be able to figure out if it wants to go up or down. Again, 4-hour needs to come down to create that bottom wick. But if there is a lot of momentum in the markets, it's not coming down. But I can expect it to come down just a little bit to tap these lows and then from there start to bounce all the way to the top side. But again, if there is a lot of momentum, you're not even going to come down to this area. You're just going to see everything to the left just being engulfed, and then it's going straight to the TP. Let's just see how it plays out though. But it can come down to just form that bottom wick basically. Potentially like 5-6 pips. It can come down. It can come down. Still within this consolidation though. Still haven't broken out of this consolidation. So let's just see how it plays out. But this is the new 4-hour open as well. So honestly, it's going to do something now, either to the top side or the downside. But I'm expecting it to push the top side, to be honest. Again, this is an attempt to form a bottom wick. So If it does come down now, taps into the support area, and then from there we see a massive push to the top side, I'll be really happy. I would like it to come down a little bit though, just to form that bottom wick, and then at that point I can literally hold this, right? Because I'm not expecting the bottom wick to be formed later on. So let's just see how it plays out. So the earlier we get the bottom wick, the better, because you don't want to see the move happen and then you come down for a bottom wick. Because as I said, if we start breaking above this consolidation, you're gonna see this turn into a rocket ship, and I'm gonna make it risk free. Until then, potentially we can see that bottom wick being formed before the new 15-minute opens. You can see obviously lower lows and lower highs starting to being formed. But as long as we don't break below the structure lows, we should be good to go up. Structure lows are actually down here, and my stop loss is below these structures. So I can get wicked out because this is that significant area. You guys can see from here a lot of buying momentum kicks in, but it is what it is. I don't mind. Because as even we can break below this and start to form obviously your structure lows, right? My bad, actually my stop loss is below these structure lows, and the structure lows are actually down here, if you guys see what I mean. So let's see how it plays out. I'm looking to honestly start scaling in on a buy position as soon as we start breaking above there. At that point, gold has no business coming down. Look at your daily candle. The first attempt to push down, we had an attempt to push down. These highs were formed, the lows were formed. We had an attempt to actually push down. We failed to break down. We failed to break below. Look at your 4-hour. Look at how bullish your previous 4-hour is. Again, the only reason I can see this coming down is because of the bottom wick, and then the momentum to the top side is so insane that price is actually just failing to even come down to form that bottom wick. That's how much momentum there is to the top side. So I think when we start breaking below the 4-hour lows, at that point we're going to see some sort of a big bearish candle. But again, we need to wait. Do you want to see these lows being broken though, and some sort of a nice bottom wick, maybe down to 1787. But again, let's see if we have enough momentum to do that. Still stuck within this consolidation, but I can definitely say as soon as we do break out for consolidation, we're going to see aggressive push either to the top side or the downside, because this consolidation has been going on for some time now. At the moment, we're not seeing any momentum candles either. Just the only momentum candle we had was this bullish candle here. After that, just seen really exhaustion kicked in, and then saw a couple bearish candles. So now again, this was your second attempt now to form a bottom wick on the 4-hour. We do have a tiny bit of a bottom wick, so start breaking above these once again. We start breaking above these, you're forming a new high once again on the 4-hour. Keep that in your mind. You're breaking the 4-hour highs once again. You start breaking above 1789.88. This was your second attempt to form a bottom wick. You start breaking above this, you're breaking the 4-hour highs once again. Until then, we are within this consolidation and can see a push to the downside. But we start breaking above the 4-hour highs, we're just coming up to the top side of the consolidation. And we break above the consolidation, we're going straight to our TP. So simple. This is your attempt to now basically form a new bottom wick. So let's see if we can do that. If we do want to form a bottom wick, it should be within this range that we have. So we should not break above 1789.88. At that point, we can potentially form a bottom wick. But if we start breaking above this, we'll come into the top side of the consolidation, and we're going to break the top side of the consolidation and go straight to our TP. But this is the attempt now to basically form a bottom wick. So as long as we're within this range from 1789 to 88, as long as we're below this, which is the 4-hour highs, we can see a push to the downside to form that bottom wick, because the bottom wick is really tiny. Got another 4 minutes left as well for the new 15-minute open. So let's see what sort of momentum kicks in with that. So far with this 4-hour, we haven't done much whatsoever. It's just forming new highs and just consolidating within this range that we have. Honestly, I'm expecting a really big rocket ship of a candle just starting to engulf everything to the left. Honestly, I don't know, I feel like it's loading up, guys. If we can form that bottom wick, I think a rocket ship of a candle is loading up to the top side. Again, for sells, you can be fluid in the market as well. Sells do make sense below 1787. Until then, as long as we're above 1787, it becomes a bit tricky. It's just all buys, in my opinion, above 1787. Below that, you can see sells playing out. So let's see now. Can we start breaking the 4-hour lows at this point now to form a bottom wick? Is that possible? There we go. This is the bottom wick being formed now. I want it to start coming down a little bit now, starting to break its own lows. At that point, you're going to see a massive bearish candle as soon as it breaks its own lows. Quickly just refresh this once again. Come on, Goldilocks, give us that push to the downside and then start pushing up. This is again, gold is just attempting to break to the downside, so it needs to start pushing down. So maybe in the next 3 minutes we can see that push to the downside, hopefully. Because you gotta understand, within this consolidation, even to push the downside, you need some significant amount of orders and you need some volatility to kick in, and then the volatility will kick in with the next 15 minutes too. Start pushing up. Oh man. Trolls, man, trolls. We're getting some trolls. Maybe waiting for the news another 45 minutes. Which news are you guys talking about? The news is after 3 o'clock, right? No? Yeah, the news is at 3 o'clock. Which news are you guys talking about? Do you guys see any news? I don't see any news. Is there any sort of news? News is at 3 o'clock, guys. That's when our session ends. There is no news events before that. Are you talking about this? Okay, okay. Maybe we have a news event kicking in. But on Forex Factory, I don't see anything though. But from here, I'm still expecting gold to just push up. Okay, the next minute now, honestly, with the next minute open, look, two things are going to happen. Either we're going to form the bottom wick or we're going to start pushing up to the top side. I am expecting gold to honestly push up to the top side after forming that bottom wick. So let's see how it plays out. Either that or you're going to start seeing structures being violated, and then at that point you can see the sell-off playing out. But until then, quite bullish on gold. Let's see how it plays out though. Fetch or testimony. Oh, we have? Okay, you guys talking about this? It's not going to be really high volatile news event though. I don't usually look at all the news events, just look at the high volatile news events. But yeah, potentially gold could be waiting for that. Okay, another minute left for the new 15 minute to open. Still respecting this area now, still failing to break below the 4-hour lows. Let's see if with this new 15-minute open, we can start pushing up to the top side or start forming that bottom wick. But again, guys, we are just failing to break below the 4-hour lows, failing to break below to form a new bottom wick. And now look, as I said, the 4-hour highs get violated. We're going to start breaking above the consolidation and we're going to go straight to the TP. So again, until we are below 1789.88, we can potentially form that bottom wick. But now you have the 15-minute open, right? This is when you are expecting some volatility to kick in. So look at that. Literally, it's turning this resistance area into some sort of support area. As soon as we start breaking above this 15-minute highs now, your 4-hour highs, you're going to see a rocket ship of a candle start breaking out this consolidation and hopefully a nice push to the top side. But we need to break above this. Until then, you can see a nice push to the downside as well to form that bottom wick. This is the area we need to break above. At that point, I'll have a lot of confidence. So this might just be the attempt now, potentially to form that bottom wick on the 4-hour. So I wanted to start rejecting. I need it to come down a little bit more. Potentially start coming down to, if we can see a 1787.70 being tapped, and then from there momentum kick into the top side. There we go. Another attempt to form a bottom wick on the 4-hour. Are we going to form it now? Potentially should start pushing down now. Just need to break this. This is when we have volatility in the market. So should be able to break down a little bit now. And then from there, hopefully we can start pushing up to the top side. Again, forming a double bottom down here. Look at the 1-minute structure. Still just failing to break below these 4-hour lows. This area is still holding, guys. Still holding this area. Still stuck within this consolidation. Again, forming a double bottom here once again now. And at this point, the 15-minute has formed as some sort of deeper bottom wick as well, more sustainable bottom wick. So at this point, you wanted to start breaking its own bottom wick to start coming down. Because look, this was a rejection area. So from here, it done a pullback, right? So you wanted to start breaking these lows now, start coming down. So at that point, we can start to see if gold wants to push up. So this is it now. Anytime now, I'm expecting rejections. If it does stop me out, it's coming down for the structure lows. Let's see now what happens. This is it. This is it. We've tapped that support area now. From here, you want to see rejections playing out. If it starts breaking down, it's coming down to the structure lows and I'm getting wicked out. And then I'm going to hold on. Oh, I got wicked out. Yeah, guys, within this consolidation, now just need for this consolidation to break and I'm not taking any more entries. I've got one more entry in the tank. But until we break out of this consolidation, I'm staying out of trades. I've been wicked out twice now. Dynamic risk positions, but again, I'm going to stay out of this because it's going to come down, it's going to go up, come down, go up. Can't take anything here. So I'm going to wait for the actual move to play out because gold has done nothing so far. This is when our session opened. This is the bottom wick once again, and it's going to start pushing up once again. Start pushing down, start pushing up. So need the consolidation to break now, and then at that point I can take an entry. Otherwise, it's just going to go up, down. You're going to see this candle starting to push once again. It's going to start pushing up again because structure lows are all the way down there, and I have gotten wicked out for the second time. Structure lows are all the way down there. Until we break the structure lows, we are forming higher highs and higher lows. And now the 4 hour has the bottom wick as well. Keep that in your mind. It has a sustainable bottom wick. So now nothing is stopping gold from going up, basically. Y'all have lost 50 pips tonight. What's happening? Guys, we don't calculate pips. We have stop losses in place. We use magic keys. So pips don't matter to us. They're not relevant to us. It's about the stop losses and the risk we are willing to put on the trade. But at the moment we are within the consolidation. That's all it is, getting wicked out pretty much. Nothing is happening at the moment. You haven't seen the actual move play out. I've just gotten wicked out again. The structure lows haven't been violated. Structure lows are all the way down there. From here you can form a new high once again. That's why I've been going in with dynamic risk positions. I'll take one more trade, but this trade will be taken with 1% risk. So if it plays out, I'll still be in profits. Pips don't matter. Yeah, when you're using this, can you guys see my camera? Let me show you. Let me turn on my video. Yes, when you're using this, pips don't matter. You put your risk into this. I'll show you guys. So wherever you drag your stop loss, that's where your... So let's say if I put 1% risk and I can move my stop loss to 100 pips, it doesn't matter. And if you can't accept losses in the game, yeah, it's not for you. It's not for you. It's not for you. You're within a consolidation. You will get wicked out. Obviously, we are expecting gold to be normal, right? You're expecting the volatility to kick in. This is when the volatility kicks in. You're expecting it to do something, but at the moment, it's just ranging. So within this, if you get wicked out, it's just part of the game. You can't do nothing about it. Now, all you can do is just wait. You have the bottom wick on the 4 hour. Again, the trade is not invalid. At the moment, the trade is not invalid. All it's done was... it's just coming down from up here. You're within this consolidation. It was at the top side of the consolidation. Didn't break the top side of the consolidation. It's just coming down. The trade is still not invalid because you haven't violated the structural laws. This is just a pullback and I just got wicked out. So the trade is still technically valid unless we start breaking below this and start forming low lows and low highs. Paul, how's your success? I'm curious. Paul, they're asking you about your success. How's your success? I'm new to trading. Shall I ignore pips? No, guys, you can't ignore pips. Look, if you have this device here, right, then the pips don't matter. In a way, when I'm saying pips don't matter, let's say I was to enter a position here. And you got to understand, guys, right? We haven't had a loss. Like for the past 2 weeks, we had consistent winners. This week here now, we are taking some losses because of the choppy price action. Again, the losses are managed. These are managed losses, which are part of the game. If you guys cannot handle losses, then trading is not for you because you will get stopped out. Again, there is a calculated loss that you can take, right? I'm taking calculated losses. I'm not taking 10% loss per trade. So something like this is not going to break my account. This is just part of the game. Fluctuation, just like, you know, very short price action. Even with your P&O, you'll see fluctuations. They'll go up, go up, go up, then come down, go up. That's just how it works. So if you can't take losses, it's not for you. But again, when I say pips don't matter, in a way, as in like I'm not using, you know, set lots for every single trade. I'm not using 10 lots or 20 lots every single day. I let this little device here calculate the lots for me. So let's say today, if my stop loss was 20 pips, right, it's going to calculate the lots for me. If it was 50 pips, it's still going to calculate the lots for me. I'm just going to input the risk basically. And if you're not using magic keys, then yeah, of course the pips do matter, because let's say if you have 10 pips stop loss and you're going in with 20 lots, it's not going to be same as 30 pip loss, obviously. Then pips do matter, but for me pips don't matter. So even if I was in 100 pips drawdown, it's not really going to matter. It's really relevant to my risk basically, if that makes sense. Why don't we buy now? Because I've been wicked out twice. Again, as I said, the trade is not invalid, but we haven't broken out of the consolidation. You want to break the consolidation and then take a trade now. Otherwise, you are just ranging at the moment. Look at gold. What has gold done so far? Let me show you when our session opened. You don't want to take part within this consolidation. This is when the session opened. 1:30, usually around this time, we have a lot of volatility, but this is all we've done. We've been ranging. This is all we've done. This is when the session opened. You are ranging, so the actual move will come, but I want to see the lows or the highs being broken, because at the moment technically this is just your pullback now, and then from here you will pretty much still go up. But again, look at the time. Another 7 minutes, you have NYSE approaching. With that, you have more confirmations to take it to the top side, right? Why don't you walk away after losing twice? Guys, again, risk management. You guys saw yesterday I took one trade and that's all about it. Today I've taken 2 dynamic risk positions. As I said, dynamic risk. So what dynamic risk is, that let's say basically what you are doing is you're taking one trade but with multiple positions. That gives you better entries. So let's say, right, today I knew there was a high chance of me getting wicked up because I was not putting stop losses below the actual structure. Otherwise, I still would have been in this trade, right? If my stop loss was below the actual structure, which is down there. So now what I done was I went in with 2 positions, low risk positions. And so I got wicked up. But again, I have still more risk in the tank, if that makes sense, right? So what risk should we use? Your risk seems good. Again, it depends on the market conditions. Yesterday, I went in with 1% risk on that position and I made more than $2,000. And right now, I'm not even down about $2,000 and I've taken 2 losses. Does that make sense, right? Even after taking 2 losses, I'm not even down about $2,000, if that makes sense to you guys. So it depends on the day, it depends on the price action. Today, again, I was buying gold really high at the resistance level. I was expecting the resistance to break because of the volatility. Unfortunately, it didn't break and it wicked me out. So that's why I went in with dynamic risk position. But let's say if I was buying today from these lows, at that point I would have gone in with 1% risk. Because right now, technically, it will still go up. But now we need to wait for another 6 minutes to for the momentum to kick in. But again, guys, losses are part of the game. If you guys cannot accept losses, then trading is not for you. No one, if someone tells you they have a winning streak every single day, they don't take any losses, they're just lying to you, honestly. Over here, the purpose of this stream is to teach you guys a realistic way of trading, where even when you do take losses, you are still profitable over long term. That's what realistic way of trading is. So don't expect every day to be a winner, even though we take more winning days than losing days. Unfortunately, when you have something like this sort of structure, you can't really expect much, can you? Can't expect much. Yesterday, you guys saw we had a crazy push to the top side that we caught. And now markets are just kind of like consolidating. Now I'd rather just stay out of this. Again, I did expect something like this because of my experience. So that's why I didn't go in with a lot of risk. But if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask us. I am looking to execute on another position, but after NYSE open. And I'll potentially hold that for 1 to 3 as well. Man, still not doing anything. Look at this 4 hour. Still just struggling. Have the bond wick at this point as well. And also, yeah, you don't use the same risk for every trade. Obviously, your risk management, you have to stay consistent with the amount of obviously risk. So you should have a trading plan, and you should know what your consistent risk should be. It should be 1 to 2%, but doesn't mean that every single trade needs to be a 2% risk trade. You have the high quality trades and then you have some low quality trades. So yesterday, the trade I did take, you guys saw, that was a really high quality trade, right? But today, because of the consolidation, every trade that I take, it technically becomes a little bit of a low probability trade. But again, NYSE, that's when you're going to see more momentum kick in, and from there we can take a high quality trade, because at this point we're not buying the top side of the range either. So let's see how it plays out. If you maintain a 60% win rate at 1x1, you are profitable regardless of decreased lot sizes. And our win rate is probably around, I don't know, 80%, something like that. So 80%, I would say. So it depends actually, it depends. If we have a really bad week where price is just consolidating, we can have a really bad win percentage as well. Could be about 50%. But again, because of the runners, we do leave really big runners. Our risk to reward is actually not 1-to-1. Even though we are securing profits at 1-to-1, our risk to reward is not 1-to-1. It's never 1-to-1. It's more than 1-to-1 actually. And also guys, if someone says they have a 100% win rate, I don't know. They need to prove it. At least 6 months. They need to show us a history of 6 months. I don't think that's possible. 100% win rate. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's possible. Again, guys, these sells are not the actual move just yet. You haven't violated the structured lows. So if I was to take a buy position and it goes up and starts breaking above this, that's the actual move. So if you've made your money within this mess, then that's great. That's amazing. But this is actually not the actual move just yet. So the actual move we're going to find out after NYSE. It could be sells, it could be buys. NYSE is going to tell us what the actual move is. You still haven't violated the structural lows. Now look, our session opened here, had a push to the top side, and now we're coming down again to retest the lows once again. There we go. Let's see now, another 2 minutes left. Let's see what we can capitalize on. At this point now, 4-hour is also forming that decent bottom wick. And you're starting to approach this area. So let's see what happens. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take another dynamic risk position here with this. And I'm going to start risking about 0.25% per trade, per entry. And I'm going to try to stack up 5-6 entries on this trade now. I'm going to approach it that way. That way I can have like bigger stop losses and better entries as well, because they can potentially work out to the top side. Let me just quickly adjust my risk. So again, look, I'm about to stack up on this, but see the way I'm gonna do it. At the end of the day, I'm gonna be risking just a little bit less than 1%. That's how you do it basically. Let me just quickly manage that. So 0.2% per trade basically, per entry. You guys gotta understand one more thing as well. Like this month now is gonna be low volatile month, so we gotta start like understanding like, okay, cool, it becomes a little bit different. Okay, I might be looking to scale in soon, guys. Let's just see what happens now, because I can see the bias playing out now. Honestly, let's just see how it plays out though. So looking at the 30 minutes now, again, this is the bottom wick done, and now it's coming up to retest this resistance area, right? So let's see what happens. If it breaks below these 30-minute lows, at that point we're coming down. Until then, again, we're forming higher highs and higher lows. But when you start breaking below this, you're coming up. But this is your NYSE open now, so let's see what happens. Let's really see what happens. We're gonna see momentum kick in, either to the top side or the downside. If we start breaking below this, start turning this into some sort of resistance, top side of the 30-minute can be used as a stop loss as well. So let's just see how it plays out. This is hopefully when we can see our trade playing out now and break off this consolidation, because again, still within this consolidation, look at that. still chilling at the lows of this consolidation. So if you can start turning this into some sort of resistance now, start breaking below this, we have a clean traffic down to at least 1782. Until then, this is just the lows of the consolidation. We still haven't closed below the consolidation. Look at your 30 minutes as well, right? Still rejecting from the downside, and then this 30 minute can just start engulfing everything to the left now. Let's just see how it plays out though. Gonna wait for those extra bit of confirmations. Could have one entry here, then another one on the top side of the as soon as we start breaking the 30 minute highs, could be an entry. As soon as we start turning 1787 into your support, could be an entry, and then could be another entry above the consolidation. At that point, you're expecting daily highs to get hit. But until we start doing that, if we start turning this area into resistance, you're coming downtown. Honestly, got to be fluid in the markets. But this is when we should start seeing some sort of trades showing up. But again, I'm going in with multiple entries on this trade. Really low risk per entry. So about 0.2% risk per entry. Looking to scale in. Because of the sort of price action we have, I want to have bigger stop losses, and I want to wait for more confirmations rather than just going in with that one high risk entry. I'd rather just go in with multiple tiny risk entries. So let's see now. If you start breaking below this, I think we can see a nice drop to the downside. At that point, potentially we're coming down to form that bottom wick on the daily time frame. Because look at your daily candle now. See that, right? We can potentially come down to form that bottom wick. At this point, you're starting to reject once again. You got to see that. But honestly, sells really do make sense below 1781. Until then, it becomes a bit tricky. But it can work out though. It can work out. Now it can potentially work out. You can see sells starting to play out. Let's just see how it works out though. Might be looking to take one tiny position to the downside soon, depending on how this candle reacts. This is it now. Are we seeing any sort of rejections? Or are we going to start pushing up now? Let's see. Have to wait for this minute candle to close, guys. Make sure we are waiting for this to close. I'm waiting for this to close now. Because two things. Either it will start to reject and start coming up now, or it's going to start breaking its own lows. At that point, we can see sells playing out, most definitely. If you see a nice engulfing bearish candle now, after turning this into some sort of resistance, we might be looking to scale in on these sells now. Okay, cool. New minute open candle now, tapped into that support area as well to the left. At this point now, let's see how much of an aggressive push we get. Are we going to see aggressive push to the top side, or are we going to start dropping down now, start breaking below this? You got 1781 coming. From 1781, we can have a 1-to-1. We can secure our 1-to-1 before 1781 gets hit. So let's see now. Again, this can potentially be that fake out candle now to the top side. Just waiting now. I might be looking to hold this honestly if I take a sell position here. Okay, if it starts breaking its own lows, I'm going to look to scale in with one tiny position here. Let me just open this up. And then from there, we can see if we want to scale in. So we will look to scale in below 1781 though. So let's just see how it plays out. Okay, I'm going to take a tiny position here as soon as we start breaking below though. It needs to break below. It needs to start breaking below. And I'm looking to scale in. Again, dynamic risk positions. Okay, this is it now. I'm going to look to scale in just here now. If we can start breaking below. Okay, this is looking good now, guys. Let's see how it plays out, because we are tapping into the support areas. I want to be extra careful. Just want to see how this candle starts to print out. I think sales can really start to play out now. Honestly, we start breaking below these structure lows as well. I'm going to scale in. Need to see how we react around these structure lows. I want to see these break and then start turning this into some sort of resistance. Let's see if we can start seeing that. Start breaking below these, start turning this into resistance, have bigger stop losses, and then obviously we can scale in below this. Below this, we're coming downtown. We are coming downtown. We are coming downtown. So again, dynamic risk positions, I'm going to look to scale in. And I'm going to look to hold these as well, because it's going to give me a really nice risk to reward below this. But as I said, we're looking for sells below this. So until then, buyers can play out from here. This can just be a pullback. So you want to be super careful and don't want to start looking to scale in just yet. But we start to break below this. That's another confirmation. Could be another opportunity to basically scale in below this and then start breaking below 1781. That's a really high confirmation to just start scaling in with positions. But that's how dynamic risk works. If the probability to the downside is not really high at the moment, we have to wait for those extra bit of confirmations, and we can start adding a little bit of risk to our trade rather than just adding like 1% risk here. Let's say if I was to take a 1% risk position here and my stop loss is here, imagine I get wicked out. That's 1% gone. But let's say if I have 0.2% risk on this trade and this trade doesn't work out now because I have one position, let's say here, guess what? It's no big deal. I'm losing 0.2%. Now, let's say I have a position here. Start breaking below this, I can add more risk. Just gonna have to wait for the extra bit of confirmation. So simple. Because as I said, until then, look, we're just forming higher highs and higher lows. Doesn't really make sense to take a sell position just yet. When we start breaking below this, that's a confirmation to take a sell position, right? And start scaling in basically. If we start holding this area as a resistance level now and start breaking below this, sells make sense. Until then, this is just a buy area to take it up. Pretty much. See, again, look at the momentum kicking in to the top side. See, this is a buy area to take it up. That's why we need to wait for the structures to be violated in order for sells. As I said, above 81, buys will make sense. You're not going to see sells playing out above 81, honestly. You're not going to see sells playing out. Might be looking to scale in on this buy position though. We start breaking above this, start turning this into support. Might be looking to scale this bad boy all the way to the top side. Turn my magic keys on though. Until then, this is a retest, and if it starts breaking below again, you can potentially go down. But as I said, we're above 1781. Above this is just buyers and buyers and buyers and buyers. And yeah, gonna have to wait. Now, if you see a bearish candle kicking in, at that point you're like, okay, cool, we're going down. But until then, it's just a pullback to take it up. Literally, just a pullback to take it up, in my opinion. And imagine scaling in all the way from down here to the top side. Trust me, that'll be insane. Insane. Look, starting to turn the same area into some sort of support. Stop breaking above these structure highs. Look, that's a confirmation to the top side. Until then, this can be a retest and selling momentum can kick in. So this is a crucial area. We have to see our price reacts now around this area. And this is your also NYSE. So you should have momentum now in the markets. It's my last sort of trade. I'm going to see if I see something now. If I don't see any momentum kicking either to the top side or the downside, at that point I'm going to call it a day. But this is when I'm looking to scale in, either to the top side or the downside. This is a crucial area. Start breaking above this, there's a probability to the top side. We're going to see buys playing up from here. That's why I've been waiting for these buys to play out, because you're going to see insane move to the top side if these buys play out. That's why patience pays in these markets. Honestly, I might be looking to scale in, guys, now. I'm going to just literally turn my magic keys on and start to look to scale in to the top side. And going to wait for the pullbacks. Let's see if we can start turning this into some sort of support. Yeah, I'm looking to scale in on this now. Honestly, start breaking above this. We'll come in all the way to the top side. Bigger stop loss, let's see now. Let's see what sort of a rocket ship this becomes. You want to see a close above this and start turning this into your support. At that point, I'm going to scale in with the position here. Let's see now if you can see a pullback. And I've got one tiny position running though. Scaled in with one tiny position here, but now I want to wait for a pullback to scale in with more positions. Okay, I got one tiny position running now, but I want to see some sort of a pullback now, and then I'm going to look to scale in. One tiny position running here though. Let me just show you guys. One tiny position running here, but I want to see the pullback now, and I want to look to scale in. Look at that, I have a one lot running, 0.2%. As I said, I've been waiting for this scale ins, and I'm riding this, like taking this all the way to the top side. Now it needs to start breaking above this. Yeah, you have to be fluid in the market, guys. As I said, look, this area here was crucial. If you saw selling momentum kick in, we were looking to sells. We were looking for sells. As I said, if we start breaking below these structure lows, we were looking for entries. But it didn't break the structure lows. And as I said, 1781 above that is just buyers in my opinion. But again now, I'm going to wait for the pullback to scale in on this position though, because you had the first leg up. It needs to create that leg down now. Potentially retest one of the key areas again. At that point, we can look to take it up. But this is going to be dynamic risk positions, so I'm going to look to scale in with at least 5 positions. But we're going to wait for a better entry now. I have one entry up here. I want to see another pullback now, one more entry. So one entry is down here. But again, this is my last attempt now. As I said, I'm bullish, so that's why I'm looking for bias. If you are bearish, you should look for your sells. Again, this is not signals, so no one should be copying me anyway. I'm just taking what I think will work out, and I'm quite profitable that way. So yeah. At this point, I want to see pullbacks down to pretty much this area. If we can start turning this area into support, look to scale in once again. But until then, I'm chilling. I want to see a leg down and then scaling on a leg back up, because it needs to create the next leg back up. This is your first leg up now. It needs to pull back now, at least 50% correction, at least down to, if we can see a correction down to 1784. From there, a massive engulfing bullish candle. I'll look to scale in. But again, tiny risk at this point now. Baby positions. Why did you not buy at structure lows? Because I want to wait for the confirmation of the highs to be violated for me to give me that probability. At that point, I'm interested. Guys, game of probability. Now it makes sense. You're violating the structure highs. It gives you that probability. Otherwise, you are quite bearish. This could have been just a retest to start pushing down, pretty much. But this over here gave us that probability. So that's why I took one position. Again, tiny position. Now I'm going to wait for that leg down and then take another position. So simple, right? So simple. It's all about whatever you are comfortable with. That's what trading is about. Another 3 minutes left as well. So the new 15-minute open can pretty much push down and give us that bone wick. And then after that, look to scale in.
You guys sell bread? I'm lost.
Hey, Bread. How you doing, man?
Good, man. I need some bread.
Hey, man. Did you take any trades with us, Bread?
Me? No.
How comes, man? Do you not believe in us?
No.
Oh, man. What can I do to make you believe in me? Oh, he left. I didn't even kick him. He just left. Doesn't want to hold our conversation with us. What's happening, Bread? Come back.
Real scary, bro.
Oh, bro. The guy's called Bread. I can't lie to you. As soon as that guy joined, he kind of messed up my focus big time. I'm not going to lie to you. That guy, man. I don't know who that guy is. The Bread guy. Come on, Gola. Are you going to give us something today? Or is it just going to be this choppiness, this messy price action? Look at this price action we've had so far. Push to the downside. Again. Starts breaking its own highs again for the second time now. Might be looking to scale in. Again, gonna keep big stop losses though if I do scale in on these positions. Not looking for any sort of tiny stop losses. But I want to see a deeper pullback though. If we can kind of like pull back 50% correction and then start pushing up. And I'm gonna hold this all the way to the top side of the range as well, basically. Next break of this will give us more probability to the top side. Now you want to see a pullback now at this point now, some sort of 50% correction, and then start breaking above this. You will see the next push to the top side. Another thing I'm going to start doing now is that I'm going to start reducing the amount of trades I take as well, because this is the first day of the month. You can obviously expect a little bit more volatility, but this is December now, guys. So this is when you start to see momentum really start to die down. So yeah, this is it now. Start to break above this. Might be second entry coming up for us. But I want to see this being broken first. Start this. Let's see how we close over here above this. Might be looking to take a trade here depending on how it closes. Well, very nice candle, because we are tapping this next area as well, so we can potentially start to pull back from here. And very nice candle so far. Let's see how it reacts around this next area. If it gives us that nice pullback break, could be looking to scale in stop loss below here, below the levels. There we go. Wow, there we go. Let's see now what sort of pullback we get. Up 16 pips on my first entry, by the way. I want to see that pullback though. This became your leg down. This has become your first second entry now. Amazing stuff. Amazing. Look at the first entries up like 17 pips at the moment. 20 pips now. 20 pips up at this point now. The entry. So this entry I've got running from down here is up almost 20 pips. As I said, I'm looking to scale in with a lot of entries. So this one I'm going to hold in now as well, because as soon as it breaks those consolidation highs, will come up to the daily highs. So I'm looking to hold this for like hundreds and hundreds of pips. I'm going to scale in, but again, as I said, I want to see confirmations, pullbacks. Confirmations, this is another confirmation. I want to see a pullback down to 1786, and I'll add another entry, because you don't want to take a entry as soon as it breaks this. What the hell, that's too high. That's way too high. When I wait for the pullbacks, pullbacks, entries. And I'm going to look to secure profits, 20 pips, secure profits, and then let the rest just run. Because as I said, the actual move is going to be to the top side, right? So this is pretty much the actual move now. You need to potentially correct this whole move now. Start breaking to the top side. At that point, you're grabbing all of this liquidity. You're going to see a beast of a push to 1795. So let's see how it plays out. There we go. Again, that's why I didn't scale in with this position yet. Waiting for that pullback first, and then I'll scale in. If we can get a nice entry from down here, that'll be lovely. This area here is an area of significance. You can see a lot of sell orders kicking from here. So want to wait for this, see how price reacts, wait for that pullback now, and see what sort of pullback we get. Either you're going to see a lot of momentum to the downside, or you're going to see some sort of tiny bearish candles. See, that's why I did not take an entry here. Didn't make sense to take an entry just there yet. Let's see if we can scale in now. This is that pullback, been waiting for this pullback. You want to see now engulfing bullish candle from down here. You can look to scale in. I can look to scale in basically. Let me just open my magic keys. Otherwise, again, man, we're just not seeing momentum kick in. It's really choppy price action. So if the momentum doesn't kick in now, honestly, this is the last 15 minutes. I'm literally not going to scale in. I'm just going to call it a day, because the moment is really choppy price action. This is all we've done so far. Look, 130. This is when we got the open. That's all we've done. 20 pips, 30 pips, 20 pips, 30 pips. Really choppy price action, honestly, so far. Let's see what we can do, man. Let's see what we can do. Keep the magic keys open. Let's see how this one closes. At this point now, honestly, if we don't start breaking up now with this candle, at that point we're just going to start ranging, and I'm going to call it a day. I want to see this candle really starting to break up or down to actually make something, because right now we've done nothing for our session. This was just before our session, the kick to the top side with the news. This is when our session opened. This is all we've had. Look at this ranginess, and now we've broken out of it, had a pullback. At this point now, this is when we should get the actual move to the top side, or even to the downside. But if it doesn't do something now, our session's about to end. I'm going to call it a day. So this is the new 5-minute open. I want to see this giving us something now, honestly, either to the top side or the downside. Otherwise, I'm willing to accept a losing day. No big deal, part of the game. But again, as I said, I have some more risk in the tank. So if I do see these confirmations now, I'm willing to scale in, because at the moment we haven't really seen our setup. We haven't seen anything so far. Still have, but doesn't mean I need to take a trade today. So as I said, this is the last 10 minutes. I'm giving it last 10 minutes to show me momentum now, start forming new highs. At that point, cool, I'm happy. Otherwise, as I said, I will be calling it a day. But this is when we should really start seeing that momentum kick into the top side. A lot of momentum to the top side should kick in. As soon as we start clearing 1787.40, there we go. This is what we have been waiting for. This is exactly what I've been waiting for. Nice. This is it, guys. This might just be it now. Gonna look to scale in at this point now. I'm gonna move my TP for the first position all the way to the top side, just so we can see if we can hold this bad boy. Again, gonna make a risk-free, take off profits. Really simple. Okay, let's see now. You want to see another confirmation will be now for entry above this, right? At this point, look, you've had the leg up now. This is the second leg up now. You need to start seeing this break, the top side break, and then I'm going to look to scale in a little bit more. Need to see this break first because this can be that turning point area. As soon as we start breaking above this, start turning this into some sort of support, going up to the top side of the consolidation. So let's see how it reacts around this area. This is the only area I'm looking to see now, how we can react around this area. Start breaking above this, pull back, one entry. I want to see first break, pull back, because otherwise this can be that turning point and you can see a lot of momentum to the downside start to kick in. So that's why I want to see break, pull back, and then that pullback is going to give me that entry to the top side of the consolidation. And as soon as I hit the top side of the consolidation, I'm going to secure profits, and then after that I'm just going to let the rest run. 50% I will secure up here. Obviously before that I'll have everything risk free anyway, right? But 50% will be secured at the top side of the consolidation, because again I'm just reacting, not predicting. But we should be good to go up now. This is exactly the whole thing we have been waiting for. I'm going to definitely see 100 pips today, that's for sure. There we go, starting to break now. Let's see if we can start violating these highs at this point now and form a new high. At that point we should be Gucci to go up. This is it. There we go. There we go. We're coming up to the top side of the consolidation now. Amazing. See, we want to see this now. Pull back, pull back, pull back, and start breaking its own highs and give me that entry. Again, you want to see the break, pull back, and then break again. Break, pull back, break again. You never want. I would never want to buy just when price is actually breaking to the top side. I would want to always see the leg down and then a leg up. I don't like to buy on the leg up, because at that point you're just forming a high, and then you can literally, after breaking the high, moving up like 5 pips, you can start pushing down. So I would never want to buy here. I would want to see this break and then pull back and then buy. That's how I trade basically, because you never know where you can reject from. But at this point now I know I can reject from here, and then next area of rejection will show me, okay, that's the next area of rejection. From there, wait for the pullback, take it, and then I know where I can expect the rejections from. So simple. I've got some positions scaled in, still have some more risk left. Let's see, once we start breaking out of this, start basically pulling back. At that point I look to scale in. Until then I'm not scaling in anymore. Taking off some risk off the table as well. In a way made it risk free. So another way to make your positions risk free and keeping your stop losses open is at 1-to-1, secure 50%, and then your stop losses can stay open and you would not lose money, you will just lose commissions. Because you've secured 1-to-1 at 50%, you've secured 1-to-1, 50% was closed, and then when your basically stop loss is getting hit at 1-to-1, you're only losing 50%, making it a break-even trade. That's the best way to basically give your trade a lot of room to breathe. That's how I usually do it when I'm taking dynamic risk positions. But again, this is a really crucial area. I want to see this break first to give me the extra bit of confirmation, pullback, and again scale in. Give you entry, you're already in. Yeah, guys, dynamic risk means multiple entries, not one entry. Dynamic risk means multiple entries. So when I say another entry, means a new entry. That's what dynamic risk means. A dynamic risk entry means multiple entries. That's what it means. I think we need to start teaching people what dynamic risk is. It means multiple entries. That's what dynamic risk means. I have entries here. Let me show you. I have entries running. I'm up 50 pips at the moment, but I want to add more entries. Look at that. I'm up 50 pips, but I want to add more entries. Can you guys see this? I'm up 50 pips once again, but I want to add more entries. But as I said, I'll wait for the pullback and then add, because I'm willing to hold this, and I'm up 60 pips now. Again, I'm up 60 pips now. Let me show you dynamic risk entries. But as I said, I want to add more entries. So yeah, because these are tiny entries. So yes, I have entries. I'm securing profits, and I'm letting the rest just run. I'm almost up 60 pips. As soon as we break out of this consolidation, you're going to see aggressive push to the top side. So simple. There we go. Starting to push up now. Great. Pretty much at 1-to-1, this is pretty much 1-to-1 now for me, so I can secure about 50% and then make it basically risk free in a way. That's what I'm willing to do now. The biggest stop loss I have is about precisely about 38.5 pips. Okay, so if I can see 38.5 pips on this, I can secure 50% as well and let the rest just run. There we go, 70 pips up at this point. Now we're tapping the top side of the consolidation. As soon as we break out of this, just watch what happens. That's where I'm going to look to add more entries. 72 pips up at this point now. Beast, beast, beast. 70 pips up at this point now. Amazing. Looking to hold this to the daily highs now, to the daily highs. Dynamic risk positions. Look at that, 73 pips up altogether. As I said, securing profits and letting the rest just run to the daily highs. So let's see how it plays out. As soon as we start breaking out this consolidation, it's going to be an amazing push to the top side. 32 pips up on the lowest position I have, 28 pips up on the second one, 14 pips up on the third one. I will look to add more positions after the consolidation breaks now. Because after the consolidation, you're going to see a lot of volatilities kick in, either to the downside or the top side. So I don't want to take any more positions now because I'm securing profits on these positions and kind of making it risk-free in a way, if that makes sense. At that point, even if my stop losses get hit, I'm not losing anything. But if it works out, I have a lot of potential to the top side. Potentially can see a lot of pips. In 10 minutes, we got news coming up as well, right? So let's see, 3 o'clock, that's going to be it now with the news. Either going to see a massive push to the top side or the downside. So let's see what happens now. With the news, I've got entries all the way from down there. As I said, top side now consolidation, I'm securing profits. Because from here, you can see a drop. So I'm securing profits and letting the rest just run now. Let it do whatever it wants to do. So let's see how it plays out. Got news kicking in soon as well. So let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what happens now. Another 2 minutes left. Another 2 minutes left. Either you're going to see a lot of momentum kick into the downside from here, or you're going to start seeing a break to the top side, and then the daily highs are going to get hit with news. So let's just see what happens. That's why it makes sense to basically secure 50% at 1-to-1. At that point, you can leave your stop loss at its original place, and you would not get wicked out. Again, if your stop loss gets hit, you're just going to lose commission. You're not actually going to lose money, just losing commission. You're not going to lose money from the actual trade because you secured 50% at 1-to-1. That's the best thing about it. You can also secure 60%. At that point, you can also cover commissions if you're not profitable for the day. That's another way to do it as well. That's how I usually trade dynamic risk positions. 1-to-1, secure 50. 1-to-1, secure 50. But I always leave the stop losses at its original place because then if it runs, it can get you so many pips, right? And if it gets you stopped out, then it's a break-even trade. It is what it is. Another minute left. Let's see what happens with news. Let's see what happens with the news. Really waiting to see what happens now. If we start breaking out this consolidation with news and you see a push to the top side, that'll be lovely. But profits, took up profits up here. Have to take up profits. Top side of the consolidation, have to take up profits. Because you have to react to the market, not predict the market. So let's just see what happens now. Another minute left. You have a really high volatile news event kicking in at 3 o'clock. And this is it now. Are we going to see a push to the downside or the top side? There we go. It's coming up now. Potentially can be forming the upper wick. But if we start breaking above this, two things can happen. You can grab liquidity and then start to push down. But if you start grabbing liquidity, start turning this into support, at that point you can expect a push to the top side. But again, right now, let's see what happens now. That's why I secured profits. Really happy now. The rest, I can just let it run. But if we start breaking above this, I'm going to make it risk-free though. I'm going to make everything risk-free if we start breaking above the consolidation. At that point, it doesn't make sense for me to keep my stop losses open, even though technically it is risk-free. Or rather just basically not even take any sort of loss whatsoever. Because at that point, I'm still securing profits, right? If I get stopped out at break-even. Okay, let's see now. It's got that upper wick. It needs to start at this point. I'll start breaking down. It starts breaking the lows. Will come in all the way down. Still haven't broken the consolidation, as I said. We are still at the top side of the consolidation. Haven't broken the consolidation just yet. So you can start seeing a really massive push to the downside as well from here. But if we start breaking to the top side of the consolidation, at that point you're grabbing a lot of liquidity and we can expect a really, really big move either to the top side or the downside. It will depend, right? If it breaks the consolidation, if it starts turning the consolidation into some sort of support, you're coming all the way up to the daily highs. Until then, it can start pushing down as well. Let's see how it plays out. Really looking to see how it plays out now. Okay. What's the actual numbers? What's the numbers? 61 actually. Okay, okay, okay. Basically whatever was forecasted. Okay, decent. There we go, coming to the top side of the consolidation at this point now. Let's see what we can do up here, because as I said, could potentially scale in on another position, but I want to see break, retest, and go up. And there we go, we're coming up now, about to basically approach the highs of the 30-minute as well. This is a massive rejection area. From here you can see rejections, but you start clearing this, you're coming to the top side. At that point you're going up. So let's just see what happens here now, because you have the bottom wick at this point as well, and you're rejecting off of this support area. So now either you're going to start turning this into double top and start breaking this support area now to potentially form a new leg down, or you're going to start breaking these highs, and then at that point you're going to see a lot of liquidity being generated and a massive push to the top side. So let's just see what happens. But because it is close on end of my session now, I'll be really cautious with scaling in. But I'm still looking to manage positions because I am in a trade here, sitting about 60 pips profits. Profit secured, so if I can get more profits, that'll be lovely. A lot of potential to the top side as well as the downside, but again, we're still rejecting the downside. Still rejecting. But if we start coming down now, I'm going to start taking out these positions and just start securing more profits. Because at this point we have no business coming down. This was the second attempt to break to the downside every time we have been rejecting. Now you should really start breaking to the top side. Just need more volatility to kick in. That's it really. The new 30-minute has that bottom wick as well. So if it starts breaking its own bottom wick at that point, yeah, potentially can come down. But from here now we have the bottom wick. We just need to wait another 2 minutes. Hopefully within the next 5 minutes we can see more volatility kick in and see a skyrocket all the way to the top side of the range. There we go, amazing. Starting to push up again to the 30-minute highs that we have formed. These are the highs that we have. As soon as we start breaking above this, that's more confirmation, that's more probability to the top side. At that point, the next area is the top side of the consolidation. We break out of it, we're going to see a skyrocket. We're going to see gold just skyrocket all the way to the top side. Let's see how it plays out now. Again, we haven't broken these highs just yet. Just tapping them, and then from there you're seeing momentum kick into the downside. So let's see what happens now. Can we start breaking out of this? At that point, we're coming to the top side of the consolidation. Break out of the consolidation, man, nothing is stopping us from going up at that point. But this is a little bit of a tricky area. So let's see how price reacts around this area now. And above the consolidation, I'm honestly just going to put all the stop losses at break even. Let's see what happens, guys. Let's see what happens. This is it. Something's going to happen now. If we have enough momentum, we're going to break out of this range and see aggressive drop, or we're going to see aggressive push. Something's going to happen as soon as we break out of this range. It's going to be really explosive as well. But again, I'm not going to add any more positions now because my session is done. But again, I am in position, so when I look to manage these, let's see what happens. I'm sitting at about 70 pips at the moment. Let me show you the dynamic risk positions. Almost 80 pips at the moment in profits. So let's just see what happens now. About 80 pips in profits right now. That's the beauty of dynamic risk positions. You can actually hold them as well for a very long time. So there we go. So GC, oh, there we go, 100 pips. There we go. Been waiting for this bad boy. There we go. I'm gonna make everything risk free though. There we go. I did tell you guys. Haha, let's go. Look at this bad boy now. 150 pips up. Let's go. I'm gonna just secure some more profits though. Let's go. Told you guys this is gonna happen. Told you guys. Look at this beast, man. I'm gonna just secure some more profits up here, man. Just a little bit more profits, and now the rest we're just gonna let it run. There we go. What beast. Everything's at break even as well. Look at this beast. Everything's at break even. Profits have been secured. Amazing. Told you guys this is gonna happen. Been waiting for this the whole day, and this is gonna skyrocket now, at least to 1795. 1795 I'm expecting to get hit now. Let's see. There we go. You guys saw that, right? Amazing. So now let's just let this ride all the way to 1795 now. Let's see if we can achieve 1795. Again, as I said, I'm not really looking to add any more positions, but honestly, the daily highs will get hit at this point now, right? But I've secured most of the profits anyway up there because that was the actual push I was waiting for now. Literally everything is at break even now. Most of the profits have been secured. So 1795 can be hit at this point now. Otherwise, as I said, this could be that liquidity drop and a massive drop can just start to come now. That's why I've secured most of the profits up there. But yeah, you guys saw that beauty, right? Been waiting for this. Amazing, amazing. That's the beauty of dynamic risk, honestly. Beauty of dynamic risk. Paul, did you take that, bro?
Yeah, I did, brother. I'm still holding.
Yeah, I'm holding as well, honestly. But I've secured most of the profits though. Because look, at this point now, you have a lot of liquidity in the market and you are either going to start turning this into resistance or support. If it's resistance, you're going to see a massive dump as well. But if it's support, you're going to see 1795 is coming for sure. For sure, for sure. And yeah, amazing. Great. Again, unfortunately, as I said, like our analysis were right, but it's just that we were within that consolidation, man. There's nothing we could have actually done. We were stuck within that consolidation. When you're in a consolidation, there's just unfortunately nothing you can do. You will get wicked up, but you know what we done was great. We went in with dynamic risk positions. You know, didn't risk a lot, and look at this. This just made our losses back and even profits, right? So what's wrong with this? Again, dynamic risk positions. You guys saw I scaled in with so many positions, but again, low risk positions. And do you guys see how it plays out now? Secured most of the profits, and now rest. I'm just gonna let it run. So now I'm just gonna make free profits basically. This would have actually worked out as well, but unfortunately, what happened was we were just consolidating. That's all it was, consolidation. We all played to you guys as well. Well played, guys. But look at that, this was the actual move. As I said, look again, let me show you guys. When did our session open? Let's quickly go on the minute time frame. Let's see. Our session actually opened just here. What happened today was we just got wicked up because of the consolidation. Look at that, 130, right? And then after that, this is how much we pushed down, about 69 pips. And look how much we pushed up. We pushed up about 92 pips. So this was the actual move that we were waiting for the whole day, basically. Like literally, we're waiting for this move, and we capitalized on it. Unfortunately, again, we got wicked up, but that's just part of the game, right? That's part of the game. You need to have stop losses in place. The structure laws didn't get violated. This was just a pullback and then a massive push to the top side. But because our sessions are usually really volatile, we expected this push to happen earlier on. So yeah, that's all it was, honestly. Got wicked up, but now the actual move happened, and look, we capitalized on it, secured most of the profits up there, and now rest, I'm just gonna let it run all the way up to 1795. If we start turning this into some sort of support at that point, we'll see 1795. Otherwise, we have liquidity in the market now. You can even see a lot of selling pressure kicking, and a lot of sells can play out as well. A lot of probability can go on the selling side as well. So 1795 is where I'm going to put most of my TPs basically. 1795, yeah, because I can really see 1795 being here. Still just chilling at like 100 pips profits right now. But do you guys see why pips don't really matter? Because we lost, I think, how many pips did we lose, Paul? Do you know? Altogether on the first two positions.
I lost around 40.
And we're literally chilling at 100 pips profits right now. So again, pips are really relative. It depends on the risk management. What the pips are is really, really relative to your risk management. Pips really don't matter. Again, pips are such a big thing. People are like 10 pips, 10 pips, 10 pips. No, pips should not really matter. It should be about risk management. Let's see what happens now. Again, a lot of liquidity in the market. If you start turning this into a resistance, you're gonna see a lot of selling momentum kick in, and sells can start playing out. That's why I've secured most of the profits up here. That was the push we were waiting for, and this was a great push. We had entries all the way from down there, and amazing push we had. Amazing push. Been waiting for this setup the whole day. Again, see, you take positions, I take positions on pullbacks. Pullbacks, take a position. Again, don't want to take a position here because we want to see a pullback. So pullback, take a position, pullback, take a position, pullback, take a position. Especially when you're forming high highs, high lows, you want to take positions on the pullbacks, right? That's how it works. So now you're expecting that pullback, and then obviously you can take another position because you are still expecting it to go up unless it starts turning this area into some sort of massive resistance and starts breaking the structure lows. So if it starts violating 1787, at that point you're like, okay, cool, now it's going to start coming down. You have the liquidity in the market as well, and now at this time you're going to start violating the structure lows. So that's how it is, basically. That's how it works. Really simple. But patience, guys. You see how patience pays, and losing is part of the game. It's just all about, when you do lose, can you manage your risk? And then when you win, your winners got to be bigger than your losers. As you guys saw how our winners were bigger than our losers, right? Because of dynamic risk. Losses were taken on dynamic risk. One of my entries here just got wicked out. Got stopped at a break even. One of my entries just got stopped at a break even. I got 2 more entries running, but really tiny positions, so it doesn't really matter, to be honest. But one of the entries got stopped out here, and just got these 2 positions running at this point, really tiny positions. As soon as you start breaking below this now, again, as I said, sells can play out as well. You can see really massive drop. This might just be that drop coming in now, Paul. What were you saying? Honestly, you start turning this into resistance, you're going to see a really massive drop kick in now, honestly, to the downside. But again, you would want to wait for a pullback, right? I'm done trading though for the day, guys. Okay, let's look at the YouTube chat. I don't know what people are saying. Your link isn't private. You have a mo. Someone give you a link. Yes, you can mute all. You have a mo. We buy, sell, better to sell. I took an entry on demand supply. Down it goes. Look like resistance. You made a mistake. Clean in balance zone, brother. And your stop loss was at order block. A few days back, you're trading at support to buy today. Guys, there are no mistakes. It just depends on the price action. Every day, different price action. Today is not regular price action. Look at this. There are no mistakes. Just sometimes you will get wicked out. It's part of the game. It's the risk that we are willing to accept. But thank you guys for joining once again, though. Thanks for the motivation, DA. See you guys tomorrow, inshallah. See you tomorrow, bro. See you tomorrow. And yeah, you guys saw us all about transparency. Showed you the wins as well as the